James. Go live. We're live now. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Y'all know what time. Y'all know how we rock. Rock. Y'all know what it is in here. Get the likes up. Tap that screen. Tap that screen. Tap that screen like your life depends on it. If you want to keep the live tussy free, like, like, drop some likes. Drop some likes. Do you want to keep the live tussy free? Yeah, I like the screen. Like the live, I mean. Tap the screen, tap the screen. I mean, golly, the fucking ambulance. What's up, Venus? Hell no, I'm not trying to watch it Espanol. No, no Espanol, no. I'm about to start watching wrestling soon. That joint about to come on. That thing about to come on. What's up, CR? Oh yeah, for the trolls dropped. For the trolls just dropped. Hey, what's up? Thank you for the follow. What's up, Rebel? For the trolls just dropped. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart. Thank you so much. Love you so much. Yeah, that. Thank you. Thank you. Watch that. No. Why is it playback error? Why is there a playback error? Don't tell me. Why do you think you're indigenous? Why don't you come up here and ask me? What do you think? I don't think. I know. I don't claim anything. I am what I am. What? Why are Pan-Africans more worried about American Indians more than Africa? That's the real question. Why y'all more worried about me being indigenous than you are about Africa? I saw that. Like these Pan Africans, funny as hell. They gonna clip up. They gonna go to clips. They gonna clip up. They gonna put some clips up of me kicking Yellow Maroon off the fucking stage. Yo, come on. Why is it not playing? Yeah, like being lame as hell. What's up? Oh, let me try to fix. Hold on, let me try to fix what I gotta fix. You're ashamed of your African heritage. Come up here. You better not be melanated talking that shit. Like y'all always want to cape for people that's racist. Why y'all want to be why y'all so eager to cape for people that's racist and colorist towards people that look just like you? You gotta be trolling.
So Pony, come on up.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? What's going on?
How you doing, host?
I'm all right, you.
I'm good. I'm good, bro.
This show. Hold on. I'm trying to fix something real quick.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just wondering, Tyrone. What's up, Tyrone? Or Tyrone?
What's good?
Just chilling, bro. How about you, man?
Chilling as well. Hard
Hell
day
yeah.
at work.
Hard day at work? Damn, bro. That's respect, bro.
Mhm.
Where you from, Ryan?
Malibu, Cali?
Ma- Malibu, Cali.
Yeah.
Which
Unfortunately.
nah, where your parents from?
Oh, my parents?
Yeah,
Ha- Hawaii?
Hawaii. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, why? What was the prompt, bro? My bad.
Why are Pan Africans more worried about Black American Indians than Africans?
Oh shit, bro. Yeah, yeah. That's a big subject. Yeah.
Hey, bro. I just want to say real quick. I've been following you for a minute, man. I'm a 52-year-old, and to see young cats pushing like you pushing, bro, to get our recognition back for who we are, man. I just want to let you know I'm proud of you, man. I see all your videos, dog. I know you see me hearting your stuff, man. Keep on doing what you're doing, bro. As far as them Pan Africans go, and my thing is, bro, if you so Pan African, why you here, fam? I think it's weak. It's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Try to fix something real quick.
My opinion on tonight's prompt: why are Pan Africans more worried about Black American Indians in Africa? Is because they're seeing their house of cards fall. Like people been pushing Pan Africanism for like centuries now, and what has it begotten? Like we haven't gotten any tangibles up out of it. It's only been a one-sided thing where it benefits Africans within the continent
What's
amongst
up, Cassie?
not like between a so-called diaspora thing over here, because what we've been seeing is a lot of these Caribbeans pushing it, but like apartheid, fighting the Italians during World War One, helping Bosnia, aka Ethiopia, have their own country back from like the Europeans trying to invade them. But the Caribbean swooped in and took up that land in Shashamene that was supposed to go to Black Americans. Um, you have the Marcus Garveys, the Garveyites, or whatever. They try and split off into like different cells, like nationalism and selling out to the Ku Klux Klan just to uphold the ethno state that they themselves will not go to and build up. But they want to convince us to do all the heavy lifting, and they sit back and have a hot boy summer in London. Uh, and most of their leaders are hypocrites and self-haters.
But
And
yeah,
what we've been seeing with like the Black Power movement is we've been seeing people from like the brother here on the panel, his people decided to align themselves with Black Power. They call themselves the Polynesian Panthers. You got the Australian Black Panthers. You got uh, the South Hall sisters and the East Indians over there in Great Britain calling themselves Black. But with people within the continent of Africa, you got like Kwame Nkrumah working with John Henry Clark. Nothing really came up out of that, really. All he did was just spent some time there to go experience his own journalist career, but we really didn't see any results with him meeting with the minds or going to school to the Stromberg Center in Harlem with John Henry Clark. Um, and the main reason why they're so obsessed with antagonizing Indianness is because we're getting results. A lot of people that are Fed recognized, like some Black Americans that are handpicked to be on the reservation, they get papered up. It's just that most people on outside the reservation system aren't receiving any benefits from their own lineage because they halted their mission in finding the Indian.
no, it wasn't called my account. My account has been the same thing since I've been on TikTok since 2020. No, it wasn't David Elsis. Like, what are you talking? Like, what? Like, do y'all know? Never mind. Let me stop. But I don't know. It's something. But yeah, why I made this problem, like I saw them still. I'm trying to bait some Pan Africans in here, specifically Dean Gullah, right? Because they love doing this whole shit on the internet, clipping stuff that reach their benefits, right? I put like the pretending. Hold on one second. Like the pretending news dude, clipping my interviews, only showing where people said, "Oh, we're from Africa," blah blah blah, but not showing the people saying that their folks are Indian and shit like that. You also got the Dean Geller trying to make a video stitching me, like also like saying, "Oh, he kicked me out of his live," like not like and shit like that. Not knowing like he don't have no fucking decorum. Like these people so disingenuous. It's quite annoying how disingenuous folks are. And yeah, that's why I made this debate some people in here. So why? Because why are they so? Why are they more so more worried about us and like us being the Indian, right? Than Africa. You don't never see these people. Hold on, you never see these people go viral talking about Pan African shit. 1 second, you got a lot of feedback. I'm trying to talk. You don't ever hear these people going viral or posting things that talks about Pan Africanism and building up Africa. They always got to mention us and shit. You feel me? They always got they clicks and views off us because you got natives and all these other racists like riding they fucking coattails. So yeah, we got E-Banks, we got Kenny up here. And we got Tony.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Yeah, what's up?
Ladies, I don't know. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I've been on panels a little lately, man, because I be on my Abraham Touré stuff, and they do kind of jump.
My
They
bad.
do kind of they do kind of jump on you and try to tell you that you can't be indigenous. Then the Native Americans, they kind of jump up there and say, "Well, yeah, you can't be indigenous. What's your tribe?" and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of disingenuous to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think we should just respect people who if they want to relate to the indigenous black here in America. If you're if you're African, you want to relate to the African side, let you relate to it. I don't understand why they so mad. Like you said, what is their business? What is their so big concern about us claiming our land? And your boy Abraham Touré is doing the same thing. He's claiming his land. So to me, it's the same thing. So what's the beef?
What's up, Deron? Georgia.
What is the beef? Why are they so mad?
Man, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And yeah, they so disingenuous because that Dean Geller dude, he's a goddamn enrolled Seminole freedman. Like I've talked to dude before he came on my live. I talked to dude beforehand. Like and that's how disingenuous they are. Like I talked to dude beforehand, and I told him all the shit I told him, and of course they try to do shit for clicks, make it seem like we pretendians and all types of shit they want us to be.
Well, you talking about that same clown that be trolling different accounts? Like he called himself Red Stick Seminole. He was over here trying to troll your Siku.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that dude is a whole live trash panda for real. Like he be on these Mongol style Native Americans panels, tap dancing for these people.
Right. See.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that clown.
The show. What's up, Kenny?
How you doing? I was just listening.
Yeah.
And I read the question. It says, why are Pan-Africans more worried about Black American Indians than Africa? I would say because the Pan-African, including the African, they don't want the American Indians to realize that Hispanized Africans colonized the Americas. They don't want you to view the African as the colonizer.
So it's all types of colonizers for sure.
Well, it is.
I look at the WT.
But 12.8 million of those Hispanized Africans came over to the Americas, a number that far outnumbers any Europeans.
Yeah.
And this whole Muslim Moorish identity is largely to blame of the history of Hispanized African colonization. So they don't want you to know that. These Pan-Africans mostly are anti-American.
Yep,
So
for sure.
they don't want the Black American Indians to realize it. They don't want that.
Yeah, and y'all can say whatever terms y'all like. Y'all can say Black American, American Indian, don't matter to me. Y'all ain't gotta say the prompt like exactly. So just put that out there.
Since you say that, I was on one of these woke people. I don't even know if she was native or a white woman, but she kept getting emotional when I mentioned the word Indian, bringing up the fact that Indian females were the ones sexually exploited.
Wait 1 second. Do y'all hear my background?
No, you
Yeah,
good.
I'm good.
But it's not bothering me. I don't really care.
All right, for sure. All right, I was just wondering. People in the chat, whatever. Let me turn it on, baby.
But anyway, to land that short plane, she got real butthurt when I said that indigenous females were the ones sexually exploited on plantations and not much an African. And I tried to provide a source, and then she just booted me off the panel.
Yeah, they like doing that. But my thing is this, fellas. Then are we in agreement that the indigenous black and the Plains Indians, we beefed? We were having beefs. So that's why it was easy for White T to go and join with the Plains Indian.
There was
Do we?
some.
Are we?
I don't think
It depends. It depends, like, because they ain't really, because plains they ain't really come across at least the English until the 1800s, like the mid 1800s for real.
yeah,
When
there
they
was
did the Western expansion, and then on top of that, there are some melanated folks that are Plains Indians. So yeah, there
Well,
are
I'm
people.
saying they were kind of in the cahoots with hiding our indigenous
Yeah,
rights.
some
They
yes, yeah,
and
some
they
of
in
them.
cahoots. They all, to me, all of them in cahoots because they would not admit that BLK the indigenous kind of existed, and they are kind of fighting that with White T against us.
Yeah, it's a fact. It became that way later on when they adopted some of these five civilized tribes tactics, like in the modern sense. But back then, I don't think so. I think they themselves were encountering the French, and they were under like the Colonial system.
But that's why they're so proud to be say they had slaves. Y'all were our slaves and all that type of stuff. You got to understand that too, man. That we always had beef. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, with the
What's up?
You talking with like the Native American Mongoloids, right? That's specific.
Yeah.
But
And that's how they was easily infiltrated by White T. You see what I'm saying?
nah, see, look. So, like when Darby was talking about the black people as playing Indians, that's where my family come from. Like a lot of my people was from the west side of Mississippi type shit. And my people was like kicked off of reservations and shit like that. So it's a lot like
Yeah, that's what they do because they don't want to accept you because they know if they accept you, that's gonna open the floodgates.
nah, shit. They took our tribe away from us type shit. We accepted them, and then the government let them take over that shit. Weird. But
They all in cahoots, brother. That's all I'm trying to say, man. I don't know how else to say it.
no, you're right. I just wanted to come up here to like add on
But
to it.
you know, it's really interesting though because you guys bring up the whole thing about the Plains Indians. Those people, most of them, they were living in like teepees, but none of the American Indians, the people who were from the Americas, ever lived in a teepee. It was always the people who came from other places into America that lived in teepees.
Exactly.
So they're not even American. They're something else. They're not even American. They were here during colonization and
What's
maybe
up,
even
Figure?
a little bit before colonization.
They native, but they're not indigenous. That's why I've been trying
Yeah,
to explain.
they not. No, they not. I agree. I mean, they living in teepees, and our people was building structures
And look,
you
check this
know.
out. I got to say this one thing. This is really funny, man. I was on this today. That's what got me coming. You kind of got me on this topic. I love the topic. But the one guy, it was, I think it seemed like he sounded kind of white, but we have brothers sound white. But he was reading, and they were saying, well, why don't, since you are the indigenous to this, why, since y'all have these reservations, why aren't y'all doing y'all indigenous thing on the reservations? Why aren't y'all building the things that, that's here now, since y'all have all y'all ties? Your boy was like, he said that this is crazy. He said the tribes said that they didn't want to harm the earth, So that's the reason why they don't do any agriculture no more.
They
I
lying.
said if that ain't white tea telling you not to feed yourself, man.
No.
You trying to tell me your tribe told you not to feed yourself and break the ground to grow stuff? That's the reason why are you for real? Y'all are colonized, brother.
Yeah, I don't even think they know enough about the land to even answer the question. It just sounds like a lie. They just they say anything. Oh my God.
Yeah.
These people make up anything.
Another angle that we can take it to is like many of the Black Panther Party, they figured it out like back then with the Pan Africans because you had like Ron Karenga and he had his whole cult of like lighter skinned non-black women in his entourage and beating up on sisters with ninja tonfas and toasters and stuff like that. And he also had Bunchy Carter deleted at UCLA. And many of us overlook the fact that he gave us this Africanized Hanukkah holiday called Kwanzaa, which he picked and chose different pieces of culture within Africa and say, hey, Black people, here's a holiday for you. Now celebrate and worship me. He also had like, what's his name? Fred Hampton call out Ron Karenga and others. And many of these Panthers were like multiculturalists. They weren't on this Black nationalist, African centric, oh, we got to segregate and move to Africa somewhere and get lost amongst those people and just bend over backwards and blood sacrifice yourself for the benefit of Africa. No, they were actually fighting for our own prosperity and helping these other communities gain prosperity. But in return, these people turned against us to reap their own benefits.
Yeah, that's a great point. I totally agree.
Yeah, I agree also.
All right, anybody
Yeah.
else wants to come up, feel free. It's an open panel.
Yeah, it just seems like it's a lot of heat. And it's like, you can tell them, hey man, we're down with the African fight, but they just want to stay on the fact that we're not indigenous to America. I'm like, what is a big deal to you? What is a big deal to you? Why you feel so passionate? Well, no, you don't. You don't like Africa. Hey, I agree that I have African lineage. I know it was a mixture, but you're not gonna make me not identify with my Black indigenous. I don't know what the big deal is. I don't get it.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Kenya? Yeah, what's up, Kenya?
And they will drop you, man. You start talking too much, man. They start meeting you.
They always talk about folks crashing out. They be the main ones.
Facts.
I was like, I'll be banned if I decide to crash out on TikTok.
Another thing is Pan-Africans are not grassroots. They always are controlled by Russian and also white supremacist groups in a way. You always find a contingent of these people that are working for colonial opposition. Like whenever, for example, CNN.
Hey, what's up, Keisha?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm colonial opposition myself.
Why
I ain't
would
gonna
you say
front.
that?
Because I'm against the colonizer.
No, they work for the colonial opposition.
And then if Russia ain't never been a colonizer.
Oh, yes, they have up there in Alaska.
Not with Black people.
The whole entire Asia. The rest
Ain't never did it with Black people.
There's Black people in Alaska too.
Never to the amount or to the severity of what we have experienced with colonization. And we can go head to head with that. Let's go. I can tell you, they ain't put nobody on no trees. They ain't skin nobody.
Brother,
they ain't rape nobody.
Hold on, you can't say you saying too many trigger words. I got clear to say.
I can tell you, they ain't put nobody.
You saying too many trigger words, yeah. You're on TikTok. This ain't X. This ain't Facebook. You can't say a lot of shit on here. If you think it's a trigger word, don't say it. honestly. If you gotta think about if it's a trigger word or not, don't say it. Because y'all spread information. Come up here then, Jello Bello. Come up here. Cause y'all spread like y'all more worried about misinformation than Africa, right?
Oh, my bad, brother. You said we can go hard and say what we wanted. I ain't know, man.
I said
I got loose.
as far as the terms.
Yeah, my bad. But I didn't mean any harm with that.
Just
But basically,
Tano,
there's no other group of as far as Western colonization, as far as the treatment of BLK people of 500 years of worse treatment. There's none in history.
So what do you mean misinformation, Jello Bello?
So I think the misinformation part steps in is when y'all start to claim that every Black American is Native.
Who said who said every one, the last one of us? Please tell me.
Well, obviously the prompt isn't saying that right now, but there are claims amongst Black Americans in the Native quote unquote group that try to say Black Americans are the true Native Americans.
Yes, we are.
That's true. And that's true.
It's facts.
Well, like, hold on.
But not all of them have
Hold on
to
one
accept
second.
that.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, hold on, just 1 second, right? What do you consider Black, Jello?
A phenotypically presenting African person.
Phenotypically presenting African person.
Yes.
Okay.
What if I told you that's a fallacy?
Hold on, Tyron. Why do y'all not let me talk to people, dude? Like, that's annoying. Y'all hear me trying to talk to somebody, y'all want to jump in. Like, come on, bro. That shit, I'm not gonna lie. That's just annoying. I'm just about to just go back to watching what I was watching. I was just getting fucked up. Oh, y'all got it. Y'all can talk to her. Y'all got it. Like, yo.
Hey, if you want a one-on-one with her, we'll give you one-on-one. Go ahead and do it.
No, I don't really give a fuck.
If it's an open
right
panel, if it's open panel, people gonna bust. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
So you say, give me a second to have a
this happens. This happens all the
Bro,
time.
it's your show.
It's every live. Like, y'all don't know how annoying that is. I try to get a word in, right? When I try to get it, like, I'm the host of the fucking panel. Every time I try to get a word in, I can't get a fucking word in. This has been the whole 2 months since I've been back on TikTok.
Well, you don't want to bring all that energy from past stuff here, man. We made brother made a mistake. That's all he did.
I really don't care, honestly. If it is past stuff, I'm getting my shit off. If you're obviously getting cut off and you can't speak on your own goddamn panel that you created, you're gonna get frustrated too. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. Speak your piece, but
go ahead and get it off, brother. Go ahead and get it all off. Then.
Nah, it's whatever.
Get it all
y'all got
out
it.
so we can move on, man.
Y'all got it. Like, I'm done. Y'all got it.
You sure?
Yeah,
you sure?
Go ahead.
Bro, go on, bro.
Get it.
I'm about to mute up.
We're here for you, brother. Go ahead, man. Shit.
Like, no, I'm watching something I'm already watching right now. Go ahead, y'all can talk to her.
Right. So anyway, that's a common fallacy, Jello Bello, because for one, Black don't mean phenotype. It's a status. Color. So what are you talking about?
I apologize. I have housework going on. So when we have the word Black, right, that was a term or a label used to identify African descendants when they were brought over here. So obviously, we're not literally Black, the color Black, but that's just a term used to identify African descendants. And it is true that there is a distinction between African phenotypes versus almost like any other phenotype on this planet. The reason why we have those phenotypes is to protect us from the sun and keep us cool and hotter, more, what's the word? Humid climates, yeah.
Okay, what if I told you that's a common fallacy?
It's not a common fallacy.
Yeah, it is.
Anthropology.
Man, hold on, ma'am.
Hold on, wait. No, anthropology and epigenetics both validate what I just said.
That's
So-
wrong.
And
So,
people have
Hey,
studied
Madam,
this, and they've
Madam,
gone to college
hold on.
and gotten they've gone and
Madam,
exposed-
may I respond to that first? Because you can't be long with it.
I don't like listening to people tell me that factual
Gotcha. So
information
again,
isn't
that's a
correct.
fallacy. That is a scientific fallacy. And here is my
and explain
observation.
explain
'Cause
why.
I'm a
Yeah, go ahead.
scientist as well. You're not the only scientist here. So
Go ahead.
I would raise you the fact that Negroids are not exclusive to the African continent. And
They are
yet
exclusive
also-
to
hold on.
equatorial regions,
Madam,
which are needed
Madam,
for
madam,
high
that
UV
equatorial thing
radiation.
is pseudo.
No, it's
I got
not.
you. That's
Equator
perfect.
Vitamin
is not
D
I wanna make
around
something after that.
are
around
all
the
over the
continent of
world because
Africa.
they're not in equatorial regions.
Ma'am, may I respond?
Okay.
Got you. So again, that equatorial fallacy is not really scientific because you have non-African Black people that live in Europe, Asia, Australia.
And they're vitamin D
Americas.
deficient, and they
Hold on.
probably have depression,
Ma'am. Then that would make you vitamin
which means that
deficient.
they don't belong. here.
Ma'am, could you?
You're saying ma'am, but you're not accepting the truth of
Ma'am,
that.
could you stop, bro? Because
I'm
you
not gonna
beat up
stop
your
telling the
fallacy
truth because
right
it makes
in
you
5
uncomfortable.
seconds.
Hey, can I say one when you finish? Can I wrap this up? I can actually help you out with this, brother. Even
Yes,
if it's
sir.
equator, even if it's on the equator, can you admit that equator goes across other continents other than Africa?
Yes, I can absolutely. Yes.
So that means that it can be that type of person in America, right?
Absolutely,
So all we're saying
because
is that
they
we
need
are
that
indigenous.
phenotype.
All we're saying is that we're indigenous to America. That's all we're saying.
No, that's incorrect. No, it's not.
How's
So
that?
hold
The
on,
Americas do not.
how can you
give us-
agree? How can
Okay, I'm
you
gonna
agree
explain it. I'm
that?
gonna explain it.
Okay,
The
go ahead.
Americas do not provide us with enough vitamin D to healthily thrive and sustain our being here. There's not enough vitamin D. There's not enough radiation. There's not enough any of that for our
Are you serious?
phenotypes.
How
Are you
about-
That's
how
why.
about-
Hold on. That's
How
why.
about
Go ahead.
how about
Let
in
me
Mexico?
finish what I said.
How about
please.
in
I'm
Mexico?
almost finished.
How
Let me
about in
wrap up my
Mexico?
point.
Go,
Hold on.
Cooker.
Hold on, wait.
How,
And that is
how about
why
Mexico?
when most Black people go to the doctors, they are always not prescribed, but diagnosed with high vitamin D deficiency. That is a huge statistic here in the Americas. So
So how about Mexico and South America? Why wouldn't
that's
that be the same
yes, no, that has
equatorial
that's enough vitamin
reason?
D. Yes.
Why wouldn't that be
Well,
the same regions in the equator as
Do you
Africa? Why I'm not-
understand? Like, okay, do you understand the history of African slaves with their relation to Native Americans?
No, I'm just talking
All
about.
right, one
We just,
second.
all we
Hold
talking about.
on,
All we
let me
talking about
see.
right now is the equator. All we talking about is the equator, and you know the equator
Just
goes
let him
across
go. You want to
the
talk?
continent
Go.
of South
He
Africa. I mean
bangs.
South America and
Silence.
North Africa.
Dark is about talk.
I
Use the-
understand that. I understand. I want to get to her point because she's trying to use the equator as her reasoning why BLK people did not derive from the Americas.
We didn't.
All I'm trying to tell her is that
No
the same
human
equator,
What's up,
derived
Mel?
from
The
the
same-
Americas.
the
The
same equator.
Americas doesn't have
This,
the necessary elements to actually
Why?
create a
How
human
is
being,
that
a
if
Homo
you have the
sapiens.
same
Hold
equator
on,
right
he
there?
bangs. Hold on. Let
No,
Dark-
y'all got it. Y'all got it. Because I
No,
was gonna take
you
it to
look
our
like
own.
you about to cook her ass.
Like no, I was like it was gonna be off the point. I was gonna change that point that she brought up earlier, but not
see,
earlier,
that-
but after he's
All
because
right.
I want to keep it on the equator since they got it on the
Yeah,
equator.
because on the
Gotcha.
equator,
No. The
her
reason
thing
why I
does
brought
not
up
work
the
because
equator,
if
I wasn't
if it works
saying
over
that.
there in Africa, please explain to me if it works in Africa, why wouldn't it work in the same equator region
It
in
does.
South
That's
America?
why there are darker skinned
You
Mexicans
gotta
and
talk
darker
about-
skinned Haitians and
Gotcha.
stuff like that.
So
Exactly.
why isn't
That
that
phenotype-
here?
hold on.
One
Exactly.
mic,
So
y'all.
that-
One
so
mic.
that
Hold
group-
on. One mic.
so
One
that-
mic, y'all. One mic.
so that
One
group-
mic.
Let me
that group could've
explain
migrated-
how
Time
melanin
out.
works.
Time out.
I'm just saying, hold on one second. That group could have migrated upwards. That's all we're saying.
Y'all don't understand what melanin is, clearly.
We know what.
Damn.
Hold on. How many books have
Wow.
you? Hold on. I got this. How many books have you read on melanin?
I don't need to write a whole bunch of books about
Like
melanin.
I've read a
to
whole bunch
know
of.
what
Hold on one
melanin
second, ma'am.
does.
I've read a bunch of books. We don't even got to go
Cool
to
for
South
you. Do you
America.
want a cookie?
Hold on one
Like,
second.
no.
One second.
Hold up,
So that
dog.
be. Hold on one second. Yo. Y'all. I'm just trying to speak. Now, what I was saying, right? What? See, this is why I say the shit because I lose my train of thought. People keep interjecting and cutting me off. I lose my train of thought fast. Now, with that being said, like you want to talk about North America, there's all these explorers. If North America lacks the vitamin D to produce melanated people, right? When these explorers wanted to see dark-skinned people when they got here into North America, we only got to talk about South America and Mexico. The William Penn, when he saw the Lenape, said they had a black complexion.
Those people
Hold on
were
one
there.
second, 1 second. I'm not done. What, like, God, I'm about to clear the panel. It's gonna be just me talking. Like, damn, bro. I asked y'all to hold tight because I lose my train of thought. Y'all hear? Y'all see I'm not done speaking. Like, God damn. Y'all came to my panel. Now, with that being, it's like, show some decency. Now, with that being said, you can't prove they were here. Like, William Penn said there was black complected people. William Byrd, William Byrd said there was dark mahogany people in Virginia. John Smith said the same thing, right? John Smith already said that about the Piscataway. What's up, Wavy? John Smith said that about the Piscataway. You got the accounts of Verrazano. You got the accounts of what's his name, DeSoto. All these different people saying how indigenous people were dark skinned in North America, United States, and out. So that being said, sources, you show a source. You on my panel, you trying to debunk us. You source up. I'll show you, and you're gonna have to source up after. No, you made the claim first. The burden of proof is on you. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not the one that made the claim.
Natives are from Africa.
I didn't make the claim. You made the claim that said North America does not have produced enough vitamin D for us to have melanated people. Why don't y'all never show sources? We always show sources on these panels. I can show you plenty sources. I can tell
Anthropology and
anthropology.
epigenetics proves what I'm saying. So you didn't like
Epigenetics.
that
So I
you
didn't
don't
like
like real
you said
life science.
you don't really
and
like
facts.
real life science. Name 10 Africans that came to the United States. Name 10.
Trying to say, considering they refuse.
They got hold on. You want to see sources? They got sources for people that came to America. Yeah, it says you want to see sources, right? Duarte Mozingo. Yeah,
Anti-African. I'm gonna drop
I'm
now.
not. Oh, don't run away now. Since you about to see the sources, don't run away. What is we talking about? Don't. It's always time to flee and run, man. If y'all don't get the fuck on, think good. From Angola, connected to Queen Zinga. Connected to Queen and Zinga. So yeah, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Y'all see the sources right here. Ain't nobody making up nothing. They always run when it's time to bring the sources out. Like she came up here making a claim like, oh yeah, there's no melanated people here in America. We can't prove that there were people that were considered black in America here, right? Indigenously or aboriginally, whatever, originally, right? But what she had yet to provide us goddamn source. Yeah, like yeah, man.
Put that back up there so I can take a screenshot.
He got on a panel trying to bogart and be long-winded and not let people explain to her that what her policy was is a lie.
I'm gonna try my best. I can't really. I don't know. I'm gonna try.
Just Google Aru Mzinga.
I will. Spell it for me. Put it in this comments. Can you put in the comments?
All right. I'll put it there.
All right, thank you, brother. Well, yeah, even her equator analogy doesn't work, man. That's you were right. That's a fallacy to even think that you can't produce that in America. So that's all I wanted to tie her in right there. But I see your boy said no, sir.
You can have melanin in the cold. Like, just look at them Alaska Native or Siberians. They got dark brown skin.
But what I wanted to, the point that I wanted to make before she escaped, is that people with darker skin have higher concentrations of vitamin D deficiency. So that concentration of melanin that she was so proud to speak about that needed to be from Africa is actually causing their higher concentrations of vitamin D deficiency in Africa. So to her point, or to her lack of a point, that us being indigenous to America has absolutely zero to do with our vitamin D deficiency. Just like them being from Africa has zero to do with their vitamin D deficiency. It's not about location. It's about the concentration of melanin in the skin.
All right. And that's, they be having these weird, not weird, because it's like a colonized information that they get to deny that we were here. That's all. And all they do is try to fortify that information, but it's fallacy. And we prove it, you can prove it easily. And you can prove it easily if you just use your mind and wait. You gotta wake up to the lies.
Approximately 1 in 5 people living in Africa have an inadequate concentration of vitamin D. There are several PubMed, National Institute of Health articles written about it in the journals of medicine. So if anybody wants to look it up, anybody in the comment, feel free to look it up.
That's fine.
And you do got to go reach it, or you do got to research it. You do have to do your research.
Yeah.
On top of that, to add to what you were saying, she tried to run from what I was about to tell her, because you got the whole lot of Khoisan, who that same science that she uses, they are saying that the pale Africans are the original Africans, and that the dark-skinned Bantu Niger Congoid that they want to attach themselves to, they're saying that they're the invasive group. So again, why are you using this Darwinist out of Africa theory when it don't even work in Black people's favor? It's only talking about grade 8 turning into a pale 8, and then losing its fur, and then growing kinky nappy hair, and evolving melanin, and then becoming so-called sub-Saharan African, and then that sub-Saharan African de-evolves into a simian creature, and then turns into the white man. That's what that out of Africa theory is talking about. It ain't talking about no Black people whatsoever.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, what's up, Crystal? What's up? Oh, we got Venusian in here, Venus in here, so many.
Oh, she back. She's still in the comments.
Oh, she back. You can't prove that. No, that was a filtered comment. She left.
Oh.
That I just approved. She said you can't prove that BS. That's pitiful. Like, they ain't got. But yeah, there's always something up with these folks, man. She doesn't want to come here and say we're anti-African. She said, no, she said there was no dark-skinned people over here in America, and I told her, like, all these explorer accounts that describe people, right?
Wait a minute. So she ain't never seen the statues of Chief Powhatan. She ain't never seen the statue of Osceola. She ain't never seen the statue of the chief down in Alabama. I can't think of Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
You ain't never seen them chiefs.
She ain't looking for it.
Cockeyed, cockeyed. That's why she can't see straight.
Vitamin D is based on modern. Oh, can you drop?
I personally don't think that we need as much vitamin D as what they're saying that we need it. I've never felt that way. I've always felt that what their standards for what our norms need to be is based on the norms that they've set for a certain group of people. So the white
it's built for white tea. Yeah,
it is. Their standards of care is built on practicing on that particular group of people. I mean, I'm a nurse, and I can tell you that what our norms are for blood pressure, for instance, is different than theirs. But they will tell you that if it's not 120/80, then we're hypertensive. But our normal blood pressures always run higher. So I think that what they're considering to be a lack of vitamin D is deficient for them. And those same numbers it isn't the same for us. We're not deficient in vitamin D at that point. I don't because ours is what's going to prevent the synthesis of vitamin D from the sun. So you can't tell me that something that I have inherently that's going to protect me ultimately from the ultraviolet rays of the sun is then also going to be my detriment, telling me that because of it, I can't
It don't even make
synthesize
sense.
vitamin D. It doesn't make sense to me. So
And also, you go. Oh, go ahead.
so that's what I'm saying. I've always felt like we never needed that much vitamin D. That our norms are not their norms, and that's the lies they're feeding us. I've always felt that way because whenever you go, they want to test it and they want to tell you that you're vitamin D deficient. And then my question to them is always, okay, so if I'm vitamin D deficient, what is that going to predispose me to having? And then at that point, they start listing off all these stats. And then I say, okay, well then if I increase my vitamin D, what is my chances of then contracting whatever you're telling me I'm gonna get? Well, how does it lessen that? Is it a 1%, 2%? Is it 50%? What? And they can never give you those statistics because what we need to synthesize vitamin D inherently is our protection. And you can't take
not
it
my
away.
bad, love.
So yeah, that's all I want to
Yeah, and I wanted to say also the dietary, what they think is good for them, the dietary is not good for us. What they have found that work for us, their measurements is only dealing with white tea. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. Everything is focused around white tea and not us. We are a different structure of being.
Yeah. But yeah, my bad, love. I accidentally muted you. But I'm all right, y'all. I'm just watching something. But yeah, I'm trying to get these Pan-Africans in here.
It's always their measurement of everything, their measurement of beauty and all that type of stuff. And that's, that we know that's not true. Yeah, everything is kind of measured to white tea's measurements. And we now know because on any even platform, we dominate.
Yeah, I think our physicalities, and I think a lot of those things predispose us to being a healthy group of people. Probably, I think if we were sticking to what our diet here, I think we would be healthier. But
What the
Yeah, I
fuck is
think
that? Oh, my bad. I'm reading the comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why we do have a lower rate of life is because we have kind of joined into their dietary and their way of life, and that's the reason why we have that issue in there, man. We just kind of have went away once again, and we kind of conformed to their way of life. That's all. We were forced into doing that, and I think once we separate, we will be able to go ahead and go back to our natural way of living.
yeah, I think one of the things is we eat food out of season. I think that's something else that I don't know if any of y'all ever remember that. Like growing up, you had a certain time of year that you ate plums. You had a certain time of year that you ate greens. You had a certain time of year that you ate other stuff because it was when it was in season in our country. And now we have more of this global thing, and we're eating. I don't think that we're eating the food when we're supposed to be eating it. I kind of feel like that's part of our detriment because our diet plays a huge part in our overall health.
They gonna bring me on.
It depends
They
on
gonna
the
bring me on.
And
I
that
got a
diet,
lot to say about that because it's coming to pass that their ways are killing people.
Unalive. You gotta say unalive.
You gotta stay on alive.
Unalive. You have to say unalive.
Unalive. You gotta say unalive now. Okay.
Okay.
Can't say the K word.
Oh, well, if people realize what has been going on, if you look at things that have been going on in the world today, not only are the ways that they're so-called saying is wrong, but if you look at your ancestors and you look back in past, we have never followed those ways anyway. They didn't even know how to grow crops or feed themselves. So how are we gonna listen to them now about the way we should eat, or if you're vitamin D, A, B, or C deficient? You didn't even realize what it was. In the fields where these vitamins come from. So once again, I think, as I told my daughter had a very important question. Why do you have so much input on us when they have no knowledge of what we are, who we are, and where we come from, except the fact that they stole us. So I think, as I was telling some of the kids, it's good that when you guys go to these schools, get what you can out of them, but please derive something for yourself. Make something of it for yourself. It is not good to get to go into a culture and you yourself don't have a culture. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. What ended up happening is that we did develop our own culture because we did not really associate with them. So that's kind of what makes us special.
Well, they robbed us of that culture, which is called the Hebrew culture. They hide it. They hide it in plain text. Take something simple as something called a Bible and confirm it to their beliefs.
Man, don't get it twisted. I'm with you on that, but I ain't know if everybody want to turn there.
Yeah, man. I'm still reading. I'm still reading, brother. I'm still reading. I'm trying to teach these kids that you have to be careful on what you see and hear and look at. Be quick to, listen.
I would like to know what the host think about that. What the host think about that as far as my lineage with the Hebrews here.
Can y'all prove that y'all Hebrew through lineage?
Yeah, you can prove that. Look at your hair.
Because I got hair.
I mean,
look at the way I'm talking about your family tree.
Look at the way your genes, when you grow, do you grow like them?
I'm talking about family tree. Who can you name as a Hebrew ancestor of yours?
You gotta keep it simple. In order to get to the past, you must also understand what it is you're going through now, because it is also a complete replica of the past. You don't have streaky hair. You don't have blue eyes.
Yeah, I can give you a little proof, though. I can't give you a little proof.
Is kinky hair exclusive to people that are Hebrew?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you look in your Bible, it'll definitely tell you that too. It'll definitely tell you that.
But let me tell you this: when they in 1492, the Queen wanted to know where the lost tribes were, and
the 12 tribes,
the lost tribes, because they knew where the Hebrews that they kicked out, because they expelled all the Hebrews out of Europe, right?
Right. Okay.
All right. So the Moors told them that there were lost tribes in America.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is they took the ones they exiled the ones, and they followed. They tracked them down. The Moors tracked them down for the money, and then they took them to the slave coast, which is modern day Cameroon and all the way through there, right?
Okay.
And above that region is what they call the region of Judah or Judah. Okay. And what they did is they took all those guys there because they were very strong and very, if you read anything about the 12 tribes, they were all very, very athletic. They were very, very athletic. They all had like little drinking problems. They all had little women problems. It goes, and you will start realizing the attachment because they very strong. Judah was very strong. Like one of the
Very
other brothers
strong.
was
Very
very,
strong.
very swift. So that's why I said when they took those guys, they also took like the Mandingo. They took all the strongest. You know what I'm saying from there, and that's the reason why when you come over here, we're way more kind of innovative and engineering minded than those in Africa. They took the best, and they still have it there, but it's so concentrated here amongst us. You see what I'm saying? But you got to look at the queen and her search. You got it's like the queen searched for the lost tribes or something like that. Then they would tell you.
Wow,
they have,
Pan-Africans. What are
brother.
Pan-Africans?
and you
Hold
also
on.
got to look at the Sangay and
Let me look
Sangay
that up. I got
Empire.
because wait.
The Sangay
You see,
Empire
my
is
man
very
said
important.
Pan-African. There is a such thing as a Pan-African?
Yes. Yeah. You don't know who Marcus Garvey is?
Wait a minute. Hold up. We got to get my book. We got to get my history book again.
Man, you never heard of Marcus
Was
Garvey?
not a Pan-African.
Yeah, he considered himself a Pan-African.
No. I know that for a fact. I'm studying history. I'm a history teacher, and you saying Marcus Garvey is a Pan-African?
Yes, he's a
Hey,
How do you not know that?
now look, hold on. I got to say this. Now you are a history teacher. Now this is funny right here. You a history teacher and you did not know Marcus Garvey was a Pan-Africanist?
No, I did not. I didn't even never heard of a Pan-African.
That tells you right there, man. That the white tea has taken away our history, man. And they don't put that in
Okay,
there.
someone
Number one,
explain what a Pan-African is.
Someone that wants to build up Africa and unite.
Say it again.
Someone that wants to build up Africa and unite all of Africans.
Under an African diaspora ideology. So they're claiming Black Americans to be Africa diaspora, Afro-Hispanics as quote unquote African diaspora, and even Blacks in Europe as Africa diaspora. But they negate anybody like the Australian Aboriginals, the Negritos of Southeast Asia, and anything.
no, he include all of them too.
I don't think so.
Yeah, all
African-
across the diaspora. All across the diaspora.
They don't.
Okay, so let's agree to disagree. So we're real. Wow, this is really some good news. This is some really good news. We're classifying now. This is called a classification. A Pan-African. That would make me a Pan-African.
Oh
yeah.
Pan-Africans are what? What are you saying? Indigenous slaves?
no, what?
No. They just connect their lineage all to
How could I
Africa.
break that down?
They say everybody be
What I'm
okay
asking
is
is
African.
if you could put that pan word, when you say pan, how could you put that in the 7th grade term? Because you guys are going way over. I'm sitting here wondering what the hell is Pan-African. I got to look this up.
Yeah, Pan-African, right? Pan is a political ideology and a movement that emphasizes unity and solidarity of people of the African descent, both on the continent and in the diaspora.
That's like exactly what I just said.
Yeah, that's the definition of Pan-Africanism.
You understand now, brother?
All inclusive.
Kind of, sort of, but how would Marcus Garvey be a Pan-African? Still, that doesn't explain how Marcus Garvey. Then I'm asking. Okay, so where's Marcus? Marcus Garvey from Africa?
He lived in America, and he was from originally Africa.
No, Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican person.
Right, there we go. That's the truth.
But he did come to America. He did come to the mainland.
He came to the United States inspired by Booker T. Washington's "Do for Self."
There
yes,
you
sir.
go. Well,
there
that's what the so-called Americans know. Marcus
So
Garvey.
Jamaica. So even though
we got
Jamaica,
a new person on the stage. We got a new person on the stage. Come on.
All right.
Go ahead, SOS.
So are you guys debating that like Black people are indigenous?
No debate.
There's no we ain't so where are you from, SOS?
I'm from the USA.
What
I'm from
part?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Where your parents from?
Minnesota.
Where your grandparents from? Random. Where your
Are you trying to
grandparents
get at
from?
my ethnicity? Because I
Yeah.
decline to say that right now.
What? No, then get the fuck off the stage. You ain't gonna tell us. You ain't gonna ask us
No,
questions
but I want to
about.
ask you.
Like no.
I think
No.
she's Somali.
You ain't gonna ask like. You ain't gonna ask us about.
Julian, get your ass up here. Oh,
Hold on, I was about to say you ain't gonna ask about us. So you can't disclose nothing about you. No,
Right.
that's not how it go.
My African brothers, how you doing?
Who the hell are you?
Bless, brother.
Salam alaikum.
Where you from, Oscar?
Malaikum salam.
That's right.
Say your name,
You guys-
what city are you from?
Where you from, Oscar?
Take a wild guess.
Yeah,
Come
what part
on
of-
with the
Like, why do y'all?
Listen,
All
listen.
right, dude. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really feeling this panel. Anyway, I'm about to be up here chilling for a bit then. Like that, where everybody at? Yeah, I'm gonna take a time out with this one. Take a time out with this one. But yeah, for real, they always been aggressive. Who's always been aggressive? What's up, in Voodoo? I guess we're not paying on this panel right now. Yeah, real. Who the hell? No, decline. You got me cracking up. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't really feeling the panel tonight. I'm gonna be up here by myself. You see, there's more people they came in as soon as I cleared the panel. Ain't that something? More people that came in as soon as I cleared the panel. I'm about to chill up here by myself right now. There's not too many people I want to hear from right now. I don't know. This might not be the live stream. This might not be the live stream. This might. CR laughing and shit. Aftermarket is going. I'm not no Hebrew. Bro, help me get some followers, bro. Get your paper up. How about that? It's okay to be different. Nah. If you want to get your followers up, get your content up. Be entertaining. Be knowledgeable. Be something. I don't know. If you want to hit mass amounts of people, you gotta show personality. You gotta show some personality. You can't. It's more than just being just knowledgeable or whatever niche you have, right? You gotta have some knowledge. You gotta have some personality, something where people can relate to you with. You know, that's how you hit mass amounts of people. Or you gotta be the first to do something. We're on a power trip. Like you can't even tell me where you from. You hide your identity on the internet. Why would I talk to someone that's not proud to be themselves? Why would I talk to somebody that's not proud to be themselves? Oh, this ain't the main event. Sorry, I'm from Nigeria. What's up, No Smoke? Oh, you live in Nigeria. You silence every chance you get, y'all. I silence every chance I get. You're right, because if I don't want to hear, I ain't gotta listen to nothing I don't want to hear to. Oh yeah, I saw you. Yeah, I ain't gotta listen to nothing I don't want to hear. That's my right. You came to my live stream. Go to someone else's live stream that let you babble. Go to someone else's live stream that let you babble on. I ain't gotta subject myself to nothing I don't want to hear. That's why y'all got problems with boundaries. Y'all know how to set boundaries for yourselves. That's why y'all are the situations that y'all in. That's why y'all the people that y'all are. Y'all know how to set boundaries. Y'all know how to set boundaries. And I ain't got no problem with setting boundaries. That's why I cleared the stage. I don't want to hear from nobody right now. What's up? For sure, but trying to figure out like that whole Hebrew thing. Why we only to the Hebrew stuff. I saw Chief say cool video. Nice. delusional pretendians like Anglo rock spider. Anglo rock spider. Yeah, and then on top of that, with her, like we only rock with things that we can find in our lineage. I actually have ancestors that call themselves Israelites. They didn't call themselves Hebrew. They call themselves Israelites. They were on Israel Hill, the Israel Hill plantation or whatever. Not plantation, Israel Hill, which was started by Thomas Jefferson's cousin, who was a Randolph. And when those Israelite ancestors came over from Scotland, I have Israelite ancestors from Scotland. They married Indians. They married to the Accomack and the Potomac when they came over here. Like all that stuff sound good. Like we're done with featureism, done with colorism. We're just trying to prove who your ancestry is. Like what the fuck does the Hebrew look like? What does an African look like? African Americans. I'm not claiming. We ain't claiming Melanesian or Polynesian that either. I'm not. Who the hell is the African American? You as African? No, I'm not. Name 10 Africans that came to the United States. That's my next question. Name 10 West African roots, pal. Like, this ain't the YT. This ain't I'm the YT and I say so, show. You're muted. I'll pay your DNA test on your panel. Nah, I'm good. I'm like I stated before, I don't really care to hear nobody right now. I'm just be up here by myself. Let's go. No matter. Well, I'm gonna have to add more people up because I'm gonna have to leave soon. I'm gonna have to leave, not leave soon, but I'm gonna have to leave my room soon. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, it's just like I'm gonna let people up in a bit. I'll pay for your DNA. Stop spamming the comments. I'll mute you. Stop spamming the comments. I will mute you. That's why I don't like having too many men on stage either. Like I don't really like having too many men on stage. Like it's all that it's too much testosterone. We need some balance. Like I'll like if women want to come up, y'all can. Like we need to have a balance on these panels. Like I'm not gonna tailor to a sausage party either. And it gets so dominant on the stage, y'all scare the women away too. Anyway, like this is not y'all scare the women off anyway. How some of y'all get. No DNA tests are free. Which one? No DNA tests are free. Oh well. You keep spamming about the DNA test, dude. You're gonna get muted. So I'll pay for you. See, muted. There you go. You keep saying the same shit. Mute. J Cat. Who the hell is J Cat? Send him the money. I was about to say, see, yeah, you can send me the money. Thank you for the mute. Yeah, no more divide. Sorry. No more divide. What? Try to get some folks unified. What you talking about? No more divide. Shit, what else is going on? I'm kind of overstimulated right now. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of overstimulated right now. Maybe after I eat some, I'll be all right. But we should worry about we should worry about us all nowhere else to go. What are you talking about? Is Zeto? What are you talking about? You got Ari in the building. People need to worry about them families first. How about we worry about our families in 2025 first, right? Let's worry about our friends and stuff. Let's worry about our family and friends first in 2025. People that actually care about us. How about we worry about them first? What the hell was that singing? Now, 'cause I gotta leave my phone real quick. All right, I got to mute myself.
Right. But yeah, man, I wanted to hear what that pseudo wanted to say about, oh, you anyway. Yeah.
Still looking for our mega collection. If you guys are looking for your first ever collectible that does have that investment value and also our collection value, guys, we still haven't received the payment for our panda. Okay, so we're gonna be clearing out one more for you guys. And our top link, once again, guys, please only if you guys really like it, then go for it. Okay, please do not hold up stocks for our 3,000 people in our live stream right now. Okay, so let's do a countdown, guys, of our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Panda Mega 400, guys, top link of our yellow basket will be up for you guys to grab right now. Okay, so remember to finish your payments once again. And if you guys are looking for our Mega 400, you know what, guys, especially if you guys are looking to start your Mega 400 collection, like a lot of friends actually, hi Sarah, a lot of friends actually got their first ever mega from our live streams, and after they start collecting one, it's like a non-stop journey. Like there's only a difference between kind of like there's only a difference between kind of like no megas and infinite megas. After you guys start collecting these, it will be a non-stop journey. Okay, so if you guys still would like to grab this, remember to finish your payments and the top links of our yellow basket for our mega panda collectible here. Okay, so you guys know in the future, once these are out, we don't have any more reproduction of these. That is guaranteed, guys. There's actually not a lot of products that we actually tell you guys we only produce one time. Like our blind boxes, if you guys don't know, blind boxes, if they're not announced to be discontinued, they're always in production. But megas, there's only this one-time production feature. So that means compared to maybe blind boxes, these will be having a more rarer kind of feature. And these ones do have a higher investment value compared to our other products that's still producing, right? So if you guys still would like to have our panda, one more, guys, top link will be available for you guys, okay? And everything here will be off the shelf stocks here, and it's going to be having, because we are buying a official product from a official live stream here, so we're also going to be giving you guys a after sale service, right? So that means because you guys are paying for a very high amount for our megas, you guys will be having a group of excellent customer support. They're helping you guys, assisting you guys after you guys receive these as well. Okay, so for my friends who would like to grab the last panda, remember to finish your payments and the top links of our yellow basket. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions, and if you guys looking for some of our other products that we do have in stock as well, let's get on to show you guys some of our other ones here. Okay, V3, honey, there's no restocks on that one at the moment. Yeah, that one we don't have any restocks at the moment. If you guys looking for some of our other products we have here, let's show you guys something that's going to be a bit smaller. We just showed you guys something very big, right? Like the megas. But if you guys are looking for something very small, let's show you guys some small things here. Can we check for pop beans? Yeah, let's show you guys some pop beans next, okay? V3 honey today, well, I'm not sure, guys. Like, I wish I knew. Like, I always wish I knew, like, to tell you guys when exactly something is restocking, but I really don't know. And it really depends when the company gives us any more stock. So I don't want to tell you like we don't have something and then we have something, right? So I'm not really sure. But as of now, as of at the second, we don't have any of the V3. And for our friends who are not following us right now, don't forget to drop us a follow, guys, because in the future, you know what, guys, our followers will definitely have more chances to know about any restocks compared to like non-followers, right? So for our friends who are not following us right now, on the top left corner of your screen, you guys can always like drop us a follow here, okay? So what you guys can do is you guys can actually have me like speaking. You guys can hear me yapping here on the background of your phone. And as soon as you guys hear me like screaming, as soon as you guys like hear me like, oh, we're restocking something, then you guys can come back to our live stream, right? You guys can have me playing in the background. You guys can have me playing in the background. That's what a lot of friends do. They have us like playing in the background, and as soon as something restocks, like we will be screaming here. Okay, V3 we don't have, honey. V3 right now we don't have. And for my friends who are looking for some of the smallest products we make, okay, we just saw some of the like the biggest products we make. Pronounce is out, Carol, honey. We just dropped the pronounce like a few minutes ago. Pronounce right now is out. So my friends are looking for like the smallest products we have. We also have some of our pop beans. And for my friends who are new to this like pop beans collection series, pop beans will be the miniature version of the chibi versions of our IPs, which you guys can actually collect. And the reason that we have made pop beans is not only are these more like cute collectibles, you guys can also make these into DIY projects, guys. There's actually a lot of friends who actually DIY with our pop beans here. Like recently you guys taught me like there was this like thing called like Decoden, which people actually DIY phone cases with our pop beans as well. So for our friends who like to grab some of these ones, it's also going to be available, okay? Never, honey, like I said, I don't know if there's any today or not. So that means like I don't want to tell you guys something I don't know, right? Yeah, like I wish I knew how to predict the future, guys. But like right now, there's none of the V3 I know of. But if there's any restocks, I'll let you guys know ASAP here. Okay, Jay, honey, I'll let you guys know ASAP here. And for our friends who are looking for some of the ways to DIY our pop beans with like DIY ideas, look at these guys. Can we check for the love letter? Yeah, we're gonna be checking for these ones. Okay, these ones are perfect. These ones are going to be starter kind of like perfect poppings for you guys. And these ones you guys can actually DIY into this as well, okay? So you guys can actually DIY our little love letter poppings into like bag charms. You guys see, like awesome. What you guys can do is like drill a hole on top of these poppings and make these into bag charms. And this one, let me explain to you guys how this product worked, okay? So this product is going to be the love letter poppings, which we give you guys around 10 of the different IPs, and it's not a blind box. So you guys actually get everything you guys see here. 10 different IPs without any repeats, and you guys also get the outer casing here, okay? So for only the mere amount of around $21.99. It's really cute, right, honey? Honey, this one is actually going to be $21.99, perfect for that free shipping deal. And what you guys will be getting is 10 of the different designs of our poppings. So we have different ones like Labubu, like Zika, Molly, Sweet Bean here. On the inside, we have our Demo, Skull Panda, there's even Hachipupu. In total, there will be 10 of the different designs. And also you guys get the outer casing of our acrylic heart kind of shaped box as well, okay? So for my friends who like to go for this one, there's also no secret. So you guys literally get every single design if you guys buy this one right now, okay? So top thing, guys, popping love letter series box set, link number 1. We're going to be dropping some more for you guys in a countdown of our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gotta refresh, guys. Pop bean, our love letter series box set will be up for you guys, okay? Give out to
All right. I had to do a quick reset. What's up? What's up? Oh, had to reset real quick. What's up? I find no. You probably ain't got live privileges. What's up, Wavy? Probably only have one live privileges. What's up? Can we see evidence? We show y'all all the time. We show y'all all the time. Y'all don't believe it. What's up, Michi? What's up? Oh, I'm on the floor. Who in the thing? I don't know. Sometimes I reset the live to reset the energy. To reset the live to reset the energy. Sometimes you gotta do that. No, they're not as we know it natives are. All right, well, Crow, request up. Request up. African well, request up. What's up, receipt goddess? Well, Crow, request. What's up, y'all?
Peace, peace.
Not much. I'm chilling, man. Just had to reset the live. I'm not
Which
gonna lie,
one?
got a little too musty on the last live.
Okay.
No, earlier.
Oh, you
Just
know,
a few
earlier?
seconds earlier.
Yeah, I had to reset. Sometimes when y'all see me restart my lives, I'm resetting it. Get like energy reset. Because once it
Devon,
gets stale,
come on.
because it gets stale. Like once it start getting stale, I'm like, yeah.
You had like a dude talking about we Hebrew and didn't know nothing about pan-Africanism, and one chick came up trying to bogart the stage and argue about melanin, saying, "Oh, y'all just a bottleneck from Africa," some silly stuff.
So, what's up, Talga? Oh man, Israel? What you mean? Oh, Israel. I was like Israel. I'll be some hyenas. What? What is Raymond talking? He can't even get on live. He can't even request stuff. So I'm gonna mute him. I'm muted. Now you can't. Now you just gonna have to watch. Sit back and watch.
I say that African word, knowing that that's really them. Peace, goddess. I didn't even know I had you blocked. That's weird.
Wow.
No, because I give access to my page to other people and
All right.
it's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I was about to say, Michi be chilling.
Well, we waiting on them panties to come on in the room because we've been fishing for Gullah. What's his name?
Oh, Gullah Maroon.
Yeah, that.
Did y'all see that video he made? Stitching me?
Mm-mm.
I just saw it today.
Let's see it. Show us.
He being a liar and disingenuous.
Oh, I didn't even watch it. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's longer than I'm not about to watch that. People make videos of me all the time. I don't even. I think it's like 4 minutes or something. I'm not about to watch that.
Long-winded shit.
Yeah, they want to yap and shit. Yeah, y'all can find that on my y'all.
I ain't giving that nigga no type of views.
Right. If that's what they want, I'm gonna let them starve.
Yeah, clout chasing.
Yeah, like y'all niggas be 60 trying to clout chase.
He's 60?
Mm-hmm.
This old ass nigga need to go sit down somewhere for real.
He said that on my Gullah Maroon. I said that on when I said that, like, you got like 60 years old on my live acting like that. He's like, yeah, I am. Man, look.
Good. Wow.
He's like, yeah, I am.
Words didn't come out right. Lord.
What's up? What's up, Tree God?
What's going on?
What's up? Is Gola Maroon? I came up to ask this. Gola Maroon, is he the one who's a Seminole freedman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. He acts like a child. He's very childish for someone his age, in my experience.
For sure. All right, I already be knowing a lot of these old ass niggas on the internet, bitch.
He's that meme. He's that meme that you do where like somebody just starts screaming.
Is he the one with the bell pepper nose?
Jesus Christ! Come on, receipt. Don't do that.
No, I'm trying to. I can't put a face with the name.
Definitely probably has what you might call a bell pepper nose. Definitely, he is good.
Like, is he bald headed?
Yes.
And he got big nose, like big lips. He kind of look like a Nigerian, right?
Yeah, he a dark skinned dude.
I think I'm kind of heavy a little bit.
I think he's skinny.
Oh no, I think we're talking about the same one. I'm not good with names, but you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I already know who that is because he stitched me and he was in the goddamn live once. Yeah, acting real child. That's why I kicked him off the stage. He would not let me answer shit.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does. That meme that you talk about, where you'll make a point, and then he'll respond in a way that does not have anything to do with what you're saying, or just ignoring what you're saying. Like, for example, he talked about, oh, there's no genetic evidence, right? And I brought up a study or whatnot talking about
Let's get the lights up.
American ancestry of Black Americans, and then he was like, but you don't have any DNA. I'm like, I just disproved that. What are you talking about? Are you gonna respond to what I said? But no, he just repeats himself and screams like no offense, but like a chimp or something like that.
It's like when you drop facts on them, their real objective is to appear to the audience. Their whole programming is to literally mass incarcerate the mind of the public. So they would overtalk, ask the same questions over and over again, drop you, mute you, all so your truth don't come out.
Diarrhea and everywhere. But I know where he's from. He came from that Final Battle group on Facebook.
Oh, brother.
We all use that same tactic is to bogard you with anti-Black American Indian hate speech, calling people wabbo,
tap dancing for these natives. They usually don't listen to your information. They try and talk over you. They try and cherry pick your source. Uh, they try to look for keywords within your source by saying African or something like that and trying to argue, oh, it's making a distinction between an Indian and a Negro when it's clearly saying that these people are one and the same phenotypically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same song and dance with these people.
For sure. And then that's their job. And then what? Oh yeah, make sure y'all stream the album. The album just dropped for the trolls. Get your stream the album. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube right now. So
Congratulations, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
Huh?
I said thank you.
You're welcome. I'll be happy to actually play that in one of my videos.
Oh yeah, the sounds are on. The sounds are on TikTok. So y'all just gotta type my name in.
Mm-hmm.
Type my name in. Yeah, the sounds are there.
You know what's so crazy? They always talking about. This person says that's crazy how you throw out a low-key offense as a racist person and then try to say my bad. I think that's what they try to say.
Oh
What is
yeah.
racism? Racism. Are you talking about colorism? Because if we were race, y'all wouldn't be on the reservations, I guess. Hey, Eddie.
What's up, Eddie? What's up? Oh, thank you for the follow, Millie. Good. Be just chilling for real. Just chilling for real. Wait, what's up, High Yellow? You got High Yellow in the building.
Are Black Americans indigenous to America?
Right. The same topic, you feel me? No, that's the reset topic. Actually, the reset topic. Because the one I had earlier was about pan-African, like why they're so worried about us more than Africa, type shit.
So hello everyone.
Yeah, what's up?
What's going on?
Godspeed, good blessings. When you say are they indigenous to America, are you speaking of a certain situation, or are you just speaking of America in a whole?
Like you talking about both continents on this ladder, or America? Yeah, we indigenous to Americans.
Well, aren't we American?
Who's not American? Like who's American? What you mean?
That's what I was saying. Are you speaking of like? I don't want to use the wrong words and get you in any kind of trouble, but are you speaking of pepper people?
Yeah, pepper people. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I believe that they are, because I believe that now, because you look kind of young and tenderized. So I believe that your generation wouldn't have put up with a lot of things that happened.
You said tenderized. What do you mean by that?
Like just learn the land, yo. Just learn the land. We ain't gotta make it into something that it's not.
Yeah, no. When I say young and tender, I just mean like a good chicken tender.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
Yeah, it's a
But I
compliment.
didn't expect. I didn't. Yeah, thank you. I didn't. That the reason why I reacted. I didn't expect to hear that. But but you can finish. You can land.
I feel like that if you all's generation were to be back then, it wouldn't have been what it is today.
Right. Yeah. I'm pretty. I mean, I'm 22nd, so and yeah, and a lot of us are going for that. You know, the Gen Zers. People say, yeah, I'm taking the Gen Z, right? Gen Z, right? What's up, Keo? So
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of us ain't going
What?
for it.
Yeah, because I'm 40 and I'm like, my son don't go for a lot of stuff. Like my son did it. And I get it because I've saw it.
Oh no, that's not even him.
Hold on, Eddie, real quick. Let me reach you real quick. Yeah. But yeah, you can go ahead, Millie. You can. Ah, he didn't mean to come up here. But were you done, Millie? Oh, she gone. I thought he left.
Oh, okay. You got somebody else?
Yeah, what's up, Undisputed? Is she here? We got Ken. Let me try and invite her back up. Ken, what's up, Undisputed? Hey, Ken.
Hey, what's up?
Hold on.
Oh, nothing much.
Oh, what's up, y'all? This is OG. My bad. What's up?
Oh, what's up?
What are we talking about?
And to answer your topic, I'm gonna say yes. Unless you know for a fact that like one of your recent grandparents or great grandparents or something is, from Africa, then I would say it's safe to assume that you're mostly not African because at that point, if you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you could even say 20 or 50 African ancestors in the last 300-400 years, that still don't make you African because like once you get back, over 200 years, you got over 1,000 ancestors. So you could have 100 African ancestors, and you still would only be 10% African. So yeah, that's my thoughts and takes about it.
For sure. What brings you up here, Ken?
Huh? Well, actually, the same thing. Are Black Americans indigenous to America? Yes. There's a book that actually talks about it, Ancient America. It talks about how the ancient Americans were actually here and the copper brown skinned people like us, and they met with the Africans. We knew each other back when the ocean was called the Ethiopian Ocean. We crossed over to there. They crossed over here. We all knew each other. Yeah, it's in the book, and and it got archaeologists, paleontologists, all kind of people who contributed to this, and they've known this. They've always known this. This is just commercialization. They had to paint the image of you have these people as savages, these people as slaves, and all of that because it's all commercial. It's all about money.
Ever since that lady said that, I keep thinking about that song.
Please.
My heart belongs to my Ronnie's.
Yo, bro, please. Vamos, come up here, Oscar. Man, my
Yeah, come on, Oscar.
I did not know what to say after she said that. I'm not.
Salam
Can I ask him
alaikum,
a
my
question?
African brothers. Salam alaikum.
Yeah, so like it's mine.
You mind if I ask him a question?
Hey, I got a deal for all
I
you.
don't mind it.
Anybody want to take a free DNA test?
Why don't you take one?
DNA test.
Well,
I didn't even mean to come up, but I wanted to
So
show you something.
we got a taker,
right?
Anybody?
I already took it.
Stay here. Don't go.
I want to
Don't
actually
go,
ask him a
Greg.
question if y'all don't mind.
Do
Hold
y'all
on,
see this?
Hold on. Hey, are you a
Holla.
Maghreb? Are you a native?
Never heard of that word.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
that,
have.
yeah. Original.
Y'all see
Original.
this?
To where?
What's the name of your tribe?
Purepecha. Makwali
Say it
Sonali.
again.
That's a Kamasi.
Sir,
That
can you
sounds
say that?
beautiful.
So you are a Mexican. We can hear that in your
Yes, sir.
right. So you're not a
Giving out free DNA
States.
test.
So
Good
hold
night.
up. Let's say that you are an indigenous Mexican, which you're
Free
not.
DNA test. I'll take
Which
one
you're
with you.
not. Hold up.
Wait.
DNA does not determine indigeneity anyway.
He.
What
Can
are
I
you
just
talking
say
about?
this one thing, and I'm gonna mute up. Oscar,
Yes, ma'am.
Do you guys take a DNA test when you do blood quantum or certificate of blood degree?
Oh, I got enough. I don't have to worry about that. But today we're giving out
I'm
free
asking you a
DNA tests.
question. I'm asking you a question.
Are you a taker?
Do you
wanna
guys
do it?
do you guys take a
Do you
DNA
want a free
test?
DNA test? We can end the
Stop
controversy.
over talking. Did I make you upset? I'm not yelling. I'm asking you a question. Do you take a DNA test to test your blood degree, your blood quantum, or your certificate of blood degree?
We are giving free DNA tests to all you wobbles,
You are
with
lying.
Indians. Come
You
on
are
up,
lying.
take it.
You actually
Cash app
use
me. I
records.
got you. We can show the results
Hold
on
on, y'all.
YouTube.
I just want
Oh,
to.
no, what
Hey,
does your
I
DNA
said,
say?
why are you lying? Y'all don't do no DNA tests. Y'all actually go through records.
And he's probably not even enrolled in any tribe that's
He
recognized.
is.
Receipt. You're saying y'all as if he belongs to a tribe in the United States. He does not. He said he's a Mexican.
He's not. He's just in
I know,
here.
brother.
He's
I'm
just
just
in
saying.
here trolling.
It was
He's in here trolling, and that was and it's like a true waste of
we
time.
know what they're doing. So let's just,
I've asked. I asked.
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
I
It's
just
just-
want to ask
I was
one
making-
simple
All right,
question.
there's too many mics going. There's too many mics going off. One mic.
Politely, I just want to ask him a simple question. May I ask you a question, Oscar, sir?
Is he gonna answer it? That's the thing.
It's not one of those type of questions that's going to be too complicated for his brain.
I'm like chicken scratch, y'all. Y'all gotta.
He's not going to blow a circuit.
I don't even consider them like for real. I don't. They make you can't trace their genealogy back. Nobody can really prove anything Mexicans really say. They just say it. Where's your record, Oscar? Show me a record from
he's muted
let's just say the 1700s with your ancestor on it.
We
Your
doing it?
direct
Who's
linear
taking it? Who's
ancestor.
doing it?
Can you do that? Can you? I hear you. I hear you. That sounds
Cash
great.
app me.
Can you show me
We
a
can
record? The 1700s, from 1700 to 1799. Can you show me a record with your linear ancestors on it? Document it.
Oscar, on this panel.
They're
On
Indians.
this panel,
Nah,
sir.
you
Sir,
saying that? Can you,
On their
what
own
record-
property.
I
what's
don't
the
want to. I
record?
don't want to argue with him. I just want to ask him a simple
Their
question. I've
natural
been trying to
habitat.
ask this
All right,
question.
Well, this is what we gonna do. Y'all already know. Favorite part of the live stream, dude. Come on up. Too many mics going off. Too many mics. What's up, Hallie? Haley? I said Hallie. Haley. Dang. Come on, Rip. Not another queen sweep. He's sweeping. Big sweepies. Queen sweep. He's sweeping.
Outside looking in, we can't understand it, right? We know that the topic.
That's okay, Leslie. Thank you.
I'm talking. People, we have a question up here, so people are gonna come with all different types of stuff. If you got the receipts, you got the answers. That's cool. But we got to allow these people to speak or answer it at least, or at least give each other time to, you know what I'm saying, speak without over talking each other.
I'm fine with that. I asked respectfully. I just wanted to ask him a simple question. Mr. Oscar, sir, for all of these people that you see, that you can visually see on this panel, what color are these people?
They're all Africans. They're all Africans.
I asked the color. I asked, what color are they?
Black. But there's a white man out here now.
Okay. Did you graduate from elementary school?
I got a GED, diploma, and a degree.
Okay, so what color you see my mic going off?
You're black,
what color
man.
is that skin?
That's you. You're black.
So that color is black to you.
You're blacker than Eddie Murphy.
Man,
So
get this man off this.
So
Oscar, you
already
say
know.
you're enrolled?
Nah, he gonna play around and like, ain't nobody got time for that. You're gonna play around. All you're gonna do is play around and run through loops, Chip. That was obvious since he came up here.
That hurt. That hurt me bad.
See, at the same time, when you get to saying something and you get to talking about who they are, they get triggered real fast. That's what I love to do. Cause you know they up here playing.
Our historic documents come up. Oh, we got our historic documents in here. Oh, brother.
My son's family tree goes back like 9 or 10 generations.
Nice.
Mine only goes back 7. But his mom is damn near full-blooded Assiniboine Sioux, and then Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara.
What is she my color?
Yeah, she's pretty dark. No offense. I don't think that.
No, we got you.
I'm not taking offense.
Okay. See, I'm 51%. And they do care about blood quantum and all that, because it's legal genocide basically.
Well, blood quantum doesn't have nothing to do with BLOOD, correct?
Well, okay, so like we'll have payments that go out, right? So people want to be 1/8 of my tribe, but like the federal government, you have to be 1/4 to get federal.
I get it, but like they determined that by using records, correct?
Yep.
Right.
The base roll.
And the crazy part about it is a lot of these records do not belong to these people.
Yep. Well, it's just
the crazy thing about that is while these records don't belong to these people,
and so why
they know it, because when it comes to the Dawes rolls, melanated people are the Dawes rolls. These people had different names. They still do.
So if you acknowledge the melatonin part of you,
Speak up a little higher, brother.
okay, if you acknowledge yourself personally, the melatonin aspect of it,
melatonin.
Right here at this point.
Melatonin. You take melatonin.
Hold on, y'all. Let me hear what did he say? I'm sorry, y'all.
You just did it. You just did it. Hey, you want to put yourself on blast? You want to put yourself on face forward? That's fine. I'll do it. But I'm asking you right now, like, why are you asking yourself on how you portray things, and then you put it about melatonin and race? Like, that's you. That's how you are. That's you as a person.
Who are you talking to?
Melatonin. What is
Talking to
that?
you.
Say the correct.
Are you talking to me? Okay. So basically, you said that I'm putting things in basically one-sided, or like what are you asking me?
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
What are you asking me?
I dare you to go ahead and tell me how your melatonin reasoning is correct.
Melanin.
Okay, so
melanin is what puts you.
uromelanin and phenomelanin makes up the hair and skin, correct?
And what would be melanin at that point in time?
Hold on, chill.
No, okay. you can't-
Uromelanin and phenomelanin makes up the skin and the hair. Neuromelanin is found in the brain.
That's your
So
question.
chill. How you gonna ask me a question, but you don't want me to answer it? I don't get that part. Like, what else do you want to know?
Mute me for muting her for being a racist. That's fine. That's me.
Who the hell is
your mic.
Who the hell is being like? Come on.
Have you guys seen that show Free State of
I
Joe?
got it, y'all. I'm not being a racist, right? I think you're talking about colorism.
Good.
Secondly, right? All copper colored people were here before anybody.
Okay, who is
on all
copper
of these
in
lands,
that aspect?
and that is the truth.
Bro, you looking at these faces. You looking at these faces, and you can't see that copper color skin.
No. You see it?
All right, dude. All right.
I'm just waiting for her to acknowledge the fact. But go ahead. You're a copper.
Okay, so what fact do you want me to acknowledge?
Okay. That's your point. You like coppered people. That's what you want to say.
No, that's not it.
That's what you just said.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
You're
well,
not scoring.
what did you say then?
What I said was this.
Okay, go ahead.
You said, what is the point, right, of me talking about melanin and all of that?
Okay.
It is a fact. People
melanin
who
and
have
copper.
neuromelanin are people who absorb the sun. Period.
Okay, and what is
And not just them, It's trees and everything else. So what other question you have?
Can you even have the audacity to tell me what melatonin absolves?
You said melatonin?
That's
That's two different things.
Melatonin what puts you to sleep.
Melatonin is,
Okay,
is
I maybe use wrong words, but can you actually describe that to me or no?
Mr. Darkside.
okay, I tried to, so
It
I'm gonna
is
do it
dark
again.
side. I'm
So
bringing
the
it
three
out
types of
there.
melanin,
I
right?
want to bring her anger. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, you want
what?
me to be angry? It's not gonna work, sir. And I think that's probably why you're frustrated.
Okay, so
So,
you're upset about what?
so basically,
Mhm.
uromelanin,
You gotta re-
phenomelanin makes up the skin and the hair. Neuromelanin is found in the brain, the pineal gland.
Actually,
Okay.
there's
In order to see, some people are born without it. Some people are born with half of it, right? That is very important. To have neuromelanin in your brain basically means you absorb the sun, which basically means that you don't need a book or a priest to tell you that you shouldn't do certain shit.
But his is calcified.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. So we're gonna just, I'm gonna be quiet because normally I do, and I appreciate you guys for allowing me to speak, but I'm gonna leave this up to y'all.
Yeah,
I'm not wasting my time.
I ain't wasting my time either. Y'all got it. I would have been
Change the
since then. I wanted-
subject on Jay because he's stuck on melanin and melatonin.
And then he can take his exit if that's the case.
Leo Dalu, Leo, to answer your question, what that Hispanic character wasn't trying to answer. Mexico didn't receive their genealogical census until 1859.
Nobody's scared of nothing, dude. Ain't nobody.
Keo de Leo, you still up here, brother?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, to answer your question about that
I know they
Hispanic.
ain't got no genealogical record. That's why I was questioning him like that. I know they ain't got no genealogical record.
No,
to be
they
claiming
do.
for us.
They didn't get it until like the 1850, 59.
Yeah, that ain't good enough.
So there's
What?
Wait, who?
Yeah, the answer what that Mexican dude that kept talking about DNA on the panel and spamming the comments. He doesn't know anything because all he knows is what these final battle characters and these Pan-African goofies get together and try and insult us online. But these Hispanic Latino tethers from south of the border, they don't really know about their own history like that, and their genealogical records can't point them past 1859 on documents. But those that can prove that they come from any of the conquerors, like these Hernan Cortez or some of these chiefs in the Codex Mendoza or these older codexes, they cannot trace themselves to that in the 1500s because everybody, DNA wise, cannot go back that far because DNA can only go to post
Yeah, but see,
area.
basically they do have, like you said, it's basically that they just changed identities. Now, the Mexicans or whatever you're speaking of, right? In the 1850s, it was a flux of CHINA people, right? For the gold rush. That's where they got the name 49ers from. Y'all know that, 1949?
CNH, what?
49ers, bro.
What's CNH?
Huh?
What's CNH?
You said what?
Are you talking about homesteaders?
No, I'm talking about the gold rush. I said it was
Yeah,
a
the
flux of them that came
homesteaders
over
was a part of that.
Huh?
The homesteaders were a part of that. These were
Yeah. I was just agreeing with you, just telling you about how they basically just letting people know that when you were speaking of 1850, it was the gold rush as well, and that they were rushing over here. Yeah.
Well, my position was really like he was bringing up DNA and all this stuff, and my thing is like stop playing these scientific games and show me the records that connect you to straight who you claim to be. And I know they can't. I know that I do genealogy. I know who got records and who don't. So that's why I just asked, like, show me the records that point to who you are. you know. And if as far as you can go back as the 1850s, I mean, I ain't here to knock it, but it ain't good enough to try me. So I got my people's back. I'm gonna, you know, chunk them niggas off.
And a lot of them people, a lot of them people like this character that came up here to be rude and belligerent or whatever. They cheat tribal enrollment, and many of these people let them come in onto reservations and claim this independence. But people on the reservation want to criticize us and call ICE on us and set up lawsuits and call us fake tribes or whatever. And that's real silly because we have the bloodline, we got land claims and all that. It's just that you got a lot of colorism within these reservations that want to kick us off and keep us away from whatever casino money or benefits the government is handing them. And it's not right to prevent us from getting our share because we have legitimate blood ties. And these Hispanic and Latino tethers, they like to play games with this Indian identity when it's convenient. They'll go be white one minute and then native the next.
Yeah, that's constant. But you know, I would like to bring up a fact that, you know, why they like to always bring up DNA. It's tangibility. See, you can't go and dig up, you know what I'm saying, your fifth, sixth, seventh, you know, grandmother, great, great. You can't go dig them up. You can't go pull them up and then draw from them DNA or get DNA off of them.
Marrow.
Yeah, you can't get anything off of it. You can't go and dig them up. So only thing DNA can go from is what you have existing. So basically, the people that kept the records, which this country kept records, and you know, and we can trace back our genealogy. We know who our people are because the records were kept, and they don't like that. They don't like that. People need to stop playing around with that DNA crap, thinking that you can get something off of it. No, I mean, where in history was that being done before?
I mean, clear geneticists will tell you that outside up to 5 generations, your 5th generation up, you have slightly less chance of getting more than 50% inheritable DNA. Once you get to 10 generations up, it's 3% to 0%. 15 generations, nothing. So you only really during DNA, you only inheriting DNA within a 10, maybe 12 generation, you know, depending on how much inbreeding is going on in your family, generation span, right? So a lot of these people don't really understand the standards of genetics in the first place, or what DNA can and cannot do, nor do they understand ascending versus descending DNA. Like pretty much descending is ancestral DNA. They don't understand these concepts. They also don't understand that commercial DNA tests don't even have like these big studies from when they digging up all these bones in South Americans and wherever. None of those DNA samples are used in commercial testing. So it's not even like you can literally connect to those people because these are two different fields of genetics versus genealogy. A lot of people don't understand these things, and it's crazy when they say, "Oh, well, you know, do a DNA test or whoopie whoopie." Well, what does your? That's what I asked them. That's the first thing I said. Like, what does your DNA test say? Because I'll break down a person's DNA. I study that as well because I got in genealogy and have to deal with so many people arguing DNA. I had to learn DNA. Yeah, what it is, because you can break down a person's DNA, where it gets it from, researching where, if they're talking haplogroups, where these haplogroups was established, what these haplogroups came from. There's a study to it, and most of these people don't really invest themselves into understanding these things. They just take a spit kit and think that's supposed to be something to.
No,
A lot of them,
and I
a lot
took
of
the
them are.
test actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say. Well, go ahead. You could. I ain't gonna forget. Go ahead, Tyrone.
So I actually took the 23andMe and the ancestry test, and they gave me like roughly 68% West African. They gave me 0.7 indigenous American, and they placed it in Mexico. None of the indigenous groups within the Carolinas, and I know why, because they don't have the records on Southeast American Indians like that, because they got NAGPRA and BIA stuff that's withholding mainland North American Indian genetics to be
So yours has
presented to
traced-
Black
yours
Americans.
had traced back to West Africa.
And
They said.
it said that it traces with a Black American African diaspora
Right.
within the United States, but the African part is unspecified.
Exactly, because the African diaspora is all of the Americas. Did you know that?
Mhm. Yes, I know this, but when they mention the African diaspora thing, they talk about, with mine in particular, South Carolina groups like Religici, the Low Country Yadkin PD, those groups in particular, which align with what I know about being Muskogean heritage. And so they put my Muskogean heritage, they erase it completely and try and give me like unspecified data, like Asians on my mitochondrial side with my mother.
So you know what it is.
Even though we don't even have Asians on that side,
See what
so
it is that
we assume that. Hold on, we assume that is like a long lost relative of my mother's father having a illegitimate child in Vietnam or something like that, but that shouldn't be possible because they don't tell your mother's Y chromosome. The children don't receive your mitochondrial Y, so that is a misconception. And also, they accredit my indigenous heritage on my father's side to 0.7, but my brother has like 1% indigenous American, which is crazy because
Shut your bitch ass up,
we
nigga.
don't know.
Nigga. You a bitch ass nigga, fuck nigga.
All right, who the fuck? Yo, get the fuck.
So why did you ask to come up here?
Why you
My
ask
whole
that?
thing is, bro, how them
Come up
work,
here,
they don't
Trump.
even test anything ancient. They don't test all the regions in matter of fact, they're using regions. Let's just keep that 100. They don't test none of
And
the
living
hold
people
on.
today.
They don't test none of the regions, all of the regions in Africa. They only have a few. And the fact that they don't test any in Egypt or any of the mummies or the bones is baffling. They don't even use the actual saliva. They're using records. So
What they get is with that Egyptian thing, because they try to give me Ramses III on my Y
Hold on, let me
chromosome.
finish right. What I'm saying is, when you realize that when it comes to the test, it's all modern, right? They don't use anything that's, you know what I'm saying, in the past. African ancestry don't even go past 200 years. So when you realize that they said that if you're 1% indigenous, that means you're 99%. Everything is in reverse. And I have that document. So the more that they say you are, that's the less that you are. And the crazy part about it is, like I said, you have to look into these databases and what they're basing their analysts about, because they're not even using your saliva. They're using records, your name. So
Fact. They
when you
are
realize,
using records.
right. So when you realize, when it comes to that thought process, what basis are they using? They're using the transatlantic slave trade, which the first book wasn't published until the 1900s, right? They're using all of these factors, like all of the African diaspora speaks about no country in Africa. Now that's wild.
That's interesting because I just asked someone earlier today. I said, when did they start teaching about the African diaspora in our schools? And nobody knew. Nobody knew. That started in 1960s. That's when they started teaching it.
Promoting it.
Was it called the African diaspora in the 1960s?
That's when they started teaching it in the classrooms.
African literature. Yeah, the year of Africa is 1960. Oh, we got somebody in here.
What's up, Smoke?
That's when they brought their first wave of them in that century into the country too, when we were starting our civil rights movement. So it syncs up because I think it was Kenyans that they was bringing in, or what we know as Kenyans. I don't know if they was just doing a mix and just calling them all that, but I remember looking into that and seeing that that was where they were saying they was bringing them in the 60s, and they were saying it was like for educational purposes, the same thing that they trying to slide them under the radar throughout the decades. You dig? Just saying, oh, we just came here to learn, we're going to work hard, and then we go back home and never go. They didn't sit down and chill around here, but they
About their having African heritage or anything like that. Talking about slave ships, it was always, you was an Indian from this side, this in this tribe, and I grew up and I remember that. You can look at my mama and my aunts, and you can see it clearly on them, right? But then the indoctrination starts in school. That's when they started it. They recently started this, like not even 50 years. 50, maybe 50, 60 years they did this. This when the indoctrination from the African diaspora started. That's how we ended up like in the 1988 we get deemed African Americans. 1988, this is recent.
From the Sermon of African American in the 17 or 1800 or something. Yeah, they reheated this old term and brought it to the mainstream using Jesse Jackson and Ramona Edlin to push it into the main lexicon. But continuing with the DNA thing, with mine's personally, I got like a whole bunch of relatives on there that aren't even the same race as me. There would be like Black Americans, you got white people, and you got recent Asian like relatives, and but I never found any like specific African relatives on that commercial DNA test. It only just shows me like people that's alive in the United States or they moved to Africa. It's like one person that moved to Africa.
Let me ask you.
Mostly, I got a
Because
Alaska Native.
I got an interesting perspective on this DNA because the one that I took, like,
which one?
Now, dig this. On any of the categories of the countries or nations they were saying y'all folks was from, did they have subcategories under them? Any of them where it said you was from West Africa, whether that was Sierra Leone, Congo, whatever, did it have a subcategory under those countries?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so because I took the DNA test too. I think they do have like certain subcontinent, but then when you look at the who they testing, then you see what they're who they testing. Like they only testing a few group people.
Yes, their thing is like they got 14 to 20 regions with these white-owned DNA company commercial tests like 23andMe, Ancestry.com, Family Search DNA, and a small hat one. But
I
the
took
African
mine.
ancestry one with Rick Kittles, he claims to have the largest database of African spit, but he does not offer an autosomal test where it combines both sets of relatives. It only goes from the father's 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 father, and the mtDNA one is mother's 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 mother. So they going all the way back to the Odyssey of man walking up out of Africa theory. And what I've seen with like Black American men, they get like Ramses the Third,
Nah,
and
I ain't going
Black
that far
women.
with that. Hold
Yeah,
on,
they
but
that's what
this is
Pan
why I
Africanism
brought that up.
too.
Hold on, Tyron, because I want you to understand my perspective of why I'm bringing this up. Because the one that I took was with my heritage, and
Oh, that's a
from the
small
original one that I took. Hold on, hear me out, because this is an interesting. This is very interesting. Darby done seen my DNA results, and Keo has too, because I posted them on Twitter, and they've updated them since then. So like they was trying to say that would be 53. Well, on the first one it was like 51 point something percent Nigerian, but under that it had northeastern USA, southeastern in northeastern USA, and Jamaica. Under Nigerian is what they're trying to say would be the majority of my DNA, and then it had a for West Africa it had like 23, 22. Of my DNA consists of, but they labeled it Nigerian.
So they basically say America is Africa to you.
Well,
That's what they're
they
trying to
testing our
say.
DNA
And
against each other and saying that's
right,
African.
because they
That's what they
updated
doing.
it and they gave me a different count, trying to say that is in the lower 60s to mid 60s as far as the percentile, but it still has it in America with subcategories. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna be from that country, but the majority of my DNA makeup is niggas from over here?
Exactly, and that's the
Like,
diaspora
come
thing.
on now.
Hold on,
And I
you
already
said
know it was for entertainment purposes going into it, but I was just intrigued by it. But dig this though, when I first took it, the one that I initially posted on Twitter, I went and plugged them into 23andMe and as well as Ancestry and got back 3 different results. So even initially, I got 3 different results, and with them updating the initial one that I took, it's still saying that a majority of my bloodline, even more so being over 60%, is still from here. So I mean, I'm taking it as a grain of salt because I know that it's not factual, and all of all of the cousin hits were fourth and fifth cousins, and you already know after second that's already too far removed to even claim as a direct bloodline. So
Generations back, you're not going to inherit any DNA from those folks anyway. So you're not going to be able to make any connections via DNA to
Well, my European the same
relatives
far
that
back
you
as
might have.
African.
How
Then,
is that
if
possible?
that's the case,
And just follow me. And the only reason why I say this is not, I'm not trying to argue your positions, but I do want to bring some level of rationale to it, right? Again, so if you're saying, let's just say your ancestors came here and the 1600s, right? Or early 1700s, and that's outside of a range. I want to believe that. I think my it's my ninth great grandfather who lived in the early 1700s, I believe, right? So let's just say I had an African ancestor that was brought over in the 1600s, late 1600s, and through generations, and I'm outside of really 10 generations. Uh, even if even if there is some traceable DNA that would connect to another person, which it can't happen because you need records anyway to build the algorithm up to make those connections. However, if there was any type of tree, it wouldn't connect to you via DNA standards anyway. So it's just a complete wash all around with like even trying to say, oh, we don't have relatives out there. That I get it, that's fact, but it's
Now
kind of
you have to
dependent
use that for Europeans
specifically
too,
on
though,
your
brother.
own.
The same time frame the African came in, same time the European came in. So if you're gonna say, well, you can't find no African so far back, then we should have found the European because the same time that's how the European came out, like in people's DNA, 16, 1700s, according to the paperwork. So if we could see a European, if we could see the European ancestry connected to us because they came in the same exact time frame as the African, then we should see some African. So that right there just proved that's when you just said,
So
well, it's too
I
far
can
back.
explain
the
that
African.
again. That's records. So if you're doing again, DNA is usually ascending, not it's usually ascending, not descending. So what is being done is number one, you take a DNA test, right? You have built a tree. Someone else in your family took a DNA test. They have built a tree. They can be your sixth, seventh, whatever cousin. Because of y'all tree matches, it will say that y'all are both this specific percentage match with this DNA, with this person. That person, that ancestor, they don't have that person's DNA. They don't have that person's DNA at all. So it's not a point A to point B. It's the point A to point B is you and that same relative who have done a DNA test and also have built a tree that supports the theory that that ancestor is exactly that ancestor. Does that make sense?
I'm gonna tell you what would make sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Being that it's billions of people on the continent of Africa, if they wanted to do DNA tests and find relatives over here, that would make more sense than people over here trying to find them over there.
But in the continent's African diaspora cousin, it don't work like that. What it'll show them is specific ancestors for different ethnic groups over there instead, and it'll show that they're exclusively those people, or it'll show a Black American that repatriated there, such as Liberia, Cape Verde, or something like that. But I don't think they work like that. And mostly these DNA tests were taken by European genetics, primarily European genetics. CR the Great mentioned the test company that what was it? Family Search.
My heritage.
What word is that one is.
But I also, you know, how you could download the GD dumb. I can't remember the correct lettering of it, but the file of it, yeah. When you download the file of it and you upload it onto Ancestry and other sites like that, that's what I did, and I got back different results for all of them. But I'm like, you know, it was interesting even with the update. But it made me wonder because, like, when I seen everybody else's, they never had subcategories under the countries that they was trying to say was the DNA split. You know what I'm saying? As far as the makeups.
With my heritage, that one is small hat on, and it basically talks about like if you're you got small hat genetics like Hasidic, Sephardic, Ashkenazi genetics that tries to trace you back to if you want to get recognition to Israel, and by their standards is they're using Eastern European YTs and not more or less
East African groups where Afro-Asiatics come from. That would be the standard of proving Hebrew blood, is what they're saying. But with American Indianness, uh, that primarily capitalizes on Native American genetic testing is these white-owned companies in the United States, which is 23andMe and ancestry.com, which they don't even have any American Indian genomes like that. What they're testing is people south of the border in Mexico, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Salvador, all these places like that, where they got the Luzies.
The markers that they're bouncing
Yeah.
ours off of, and I know
Yes.
there's no direct relation, but I found it interesting that
Hold on,
it
brother.
gave me an American subcategory. You dig? That's the main thing that I want you to try and focus on, because the
Yeah,
information
that's
you're
what I'm
giving
about to
me, I know it
focus
may
on.
be for the room, but I'm aware of this.
Mhm.
Because
And
we've
be-
all been into
before
the
y'all go
into
too
the
deeper
study
in
of
there,
this.
I
I'm not
had a
trying to cut
question
your
for
knowledge,
Tyrone.
but I'm just
Hold on.
saying.
For both of y'all, I had a
Wait, what you
question.
said, Ken?
Yeah, I never
What's up,
took
G?
I never took one of those tests. So what I actually wanted to ask you, are they asking you inside of the test before you take them? Are they asking you your ethnicity?
No, you
Information
can
request.
sign it anonymously like I did. What they just ask you is just health questions, and also they try and connect you to your actual relatives that's recent and living. But the thing is, with the indigenous American percentages, they are not taking anything from mainland North American Indian groups that were involved with the transatlantic slave trade, or admix themselves with the Buffalo Soldiers, or have that Australoid Paleo Indian genetics. They're not using that in these commercial testing. What they test are
With those markers that I was
Yeah,
that I was describing,
Hold on,
how
CR.
it was pinpointing
Yeah.
American
Yeah.
coasts and regions
Mhm.
compared to how
Hold
they
on,
would say
CR.
it
Hold on.
overall.
Hold on, brother. I'll let you go next. But what they're testing is skulls that's in South America, like the Louisiana skull that they're using to compare to these modern mestizos that are admixed. And they're collecting saliva from Alaska natives, not much more or less mainland North American Indians that were involved with the transatlantic slave trade in the southeast and the eastern woodlands, or the Midwest, or the plains of California, like that, because one, they got protections to keep anybody from digging up their ancestors from looking at their genetic results, because they feel that it denationalizes them and holds their own heritage into question, because we get a lot of these people that say, "Oh, we already know who we are. We know who we are. Y'all blacks need to take the test, right?" But they are hiding something with NAGPRA, BIA, and all these other blood quantum policies, so we can't even find out the real truth. They just only primarily have white genetics. So I'll let CR the Great go. I'll mute up.
That's interesting.
CR, you can go.
But I was doing something, bro. I'm here. But nah, I get what you saying, but this is what I want y'all and everybody in the comments to understand of what I'm saying, because I get the aspect of the entertainment purposes, not having all of the data, and especially only using less than 10 these Africans. I know all of that. What I'm saying is how when they do those breakdowns, you've seen them as well on multiple apps that you didn't inserted that data into. Walk with me. When mine specifically, it has these subcategories that's still in North America, even with them trying to say it's from another country. And the part that they did say that was from Northern America, which will be the Native Americans or whatever, they erased that completely because it had Inuit, it had 3%, it was like 1.2 something Inuit, it had like 3% something Native American, 5% Irish. It was crazy. Like I still have it. I would show it to y'all, but I don't think I got it on this phone. But just the fact that it gave me those subcategories that was all still in America. You did. And like even with me telling y'all about my genealogy and how I've only found one person that they say is from Africa, and that's like a fifth, sixth great grandfather in the Carolinas. And I don't have no names on his parents. That's just what it say. Father from Africa, mother from Alabama, which will still tie me to the land. But even when it comes to the father, I haven't found a shipment manifest, nothing. This is in the Carolinas, early 1800s. You know, well, not with him. He might have been born in the 1700s on that particular line because I haven't been able. I didn't run across some more maps that I'm doing some more research on to tie up some loose ends as far as that because I don't want to claim Geechee if I ain't get dig. But back to the DNA with those three subcategories that I told y'all: northern, northeastern, southeastern, and Jamaica. Under Nigeria, have y'all seen that? And why exactly would they try and do it like that? But I'm not saying like I don't understand the whole DNA aspect. I get how they whatever they want. I didn't seen all the videos. I didn't submitted it into multiple websites, got different results because like one said it was 50 something, one said it was 70 something, another one said it was 60 something. I'm not buying the bullshit. I'm not asleep. I'm well aware. But just the fact that it still had that subcategory, even with the update on the initial one that I took where it was saying it was like 63, 64%. It still had those subcategories that I'm Nigerian when it has a subcategory that's all in the United States.
Because it's in the United States.
Who I am, even with them changing it up and updating it, they still let me know that I'm still from here. You know what I'm saying? Even if they want to go based off the numbers, that's why I don't even want to have this conversation. It's still gonna say I'm more of the people from here and less of you. So what are we doing here?
So we got Isaiah up here.
Hello? You there?
Yeah, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, how you guys doing, man? So my thing is we got here in the United States, we got things in the history like Igbo landing, right? Which they even quoted that on the Black Panther movie. You got the different tribes in Africa who have the memory of their families being taken into the transatlantic slave trade. You have the letters from kings when the transatlantic slave trade had started in the Congo. King Zinga Nikwu, who wrote letters to the king of Portugal, João, talking about how his land and his people have been being taken so much that they were basically he was basically saying that his land was becoming barren of people, that they were taking not only they were taking royals and people from his own family, large amounts, and he was asking them to stop, and they wouldn't stop, and they sent letters back. These things, this is documented history, right? So when you have like proud peoples like the Igbo, and they'll talk about how their lands were emptied out of their own people, and then you have the tribes like, for instance, the Fulani, who and some of the other tribes that live close by in southeastern Nigeria that brag about their foreparents emptying out the lands of the Igbos, of their people. How can we now come to get to the point where we say, oh, most of the Black people in America are originally from here.
Okay, can I answer?
The ones no, I got it. Y'all been talking. No, all right. So you said all these like we ask Africans all the time, like which one of your ancestors or family members were shipped over here, right? They can never answer that question for us. They say, oh, we don't know anybody that's shipped over here. That got shipped over here, right? Now, if you look at the numbers, slavevoyages.org, right? They say 93,000 Africans are documented, right? Harvard is now taking up on research on this transatlantic slave trade. They only have records of 200,000 people. So we ask our grandparents. I ask my parents all the time, right? Well, I ask my parents, "Oh, you ever learned about being from Africa?" They said no. That's some new shit, right? Not saying that folks didn't come over here because they documented people that came over here. I really showed somebody earlier. We had a Pan-African or whatever she was in here, right? She ran away. Once I showed Dort Mazinga, because the Mozingo family kept their African name here in America.
What I'm saying is because your parents in America weren't taught that they were from Africa, that doesn't prove that you weren't from Africa. It just
So
starts
how do they know the Indian in their family but not the African? Huh?
I got a number for you. I got a number.
Hold on. I'm not done. Done.
So what I'm saying is this, right? Is that America, these white people in America, they had intentions. They
So they
away,
intentionally not recorded their business.
Brother,
They intentionally didn't.
Let me speak.
Go ahead, yeah. You've been yapping. You've been yapping the whole time.
No, I haven't. You spoke the whole time. I didn't interrupt you.
All right, go ahead, Jeff.
So what I'm saying is that they took away the language, the names, just like you got.
How did the Mozingo keep their name then?
You said the who?
Mozingos.
So when I'm saying they took away, I'm not talking about a few individuals, right? Some people, like for instance Harriet Tubman, she knew exactly what tribe she was from.
What tribe was she from?
She was from Ghana. She was from the Ashanti.
What tribe in Ashanti in Ghana? Arminta Ross.
You said what?
Arminta Ross was from Ghana, the Ashanti.
Yes.
What ship did her folks come off of?
What does that have to do with her saying what tribe she was from?
But where did she say it at? Where did she say it?
Oh,
give me a book or give me a memoir or a book that she talked about.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up on Chat GPT just for time's sake to give you a quick source.
I could do that shit myself. Like, what are we doing?
That's bogus. Disingenuous.
Yeah, I can do the shit myself.
Buffer.
So what I'm saying is, so like I said, at that time, the woman that's known, this is known fact. This is a known fact. And her family that's alive this day, her descendants, they still are attached and affiliated with their tribe, and you can look them up on YouTube yourself. So what I'm saying is that
okay, that's one person. That would be one person, right?
You have some black people.
One second. You said I can't go off one person. You can't go off one person either. So you only brought up one person. Bring up more than one person then. If we can't use one person to prove our points.
No silence.
You can come off the mic. Yeah, we gonna be fair, right?
Well, while he's surfing.
It don't even show no goddamn. Yeah, it don't even show a damn. It's a fucking. Hold on. You got a source from in Dorchester County, Maryland. Are you serious? You're talking to someone that lives in Maryland. It is no source. I'm looking right now. I put it in Chat GPT or Google or Gemini on the AI for Google Gemini, right? They're saying there's no definitive proof. There's no definitive proof. When you put it in AI, it says there's no definitive proof. I'll show y'all right now. Let me flip my camera. Flip my camera. Flip. Yeah. Right. A prominent figure in underground is known for her courage and leadership fighting against slavery. She was a descendant of the Ashanti or Ashanti ethnic group from Ghana. Hold on, somebody's got to mute their mic. That background noise is annoying me. Street. Harriet Tubman was born into slavery in Maryland. Her mother, Rit, was likely in Ashanti, while her father, Big Ross, was also enslaved. Her mom was Ashanti, but what was her dad? Right? There's no definitive proof of direct lineage. Tubman's claim of being one of those Ashanti suggests possible connection to the Ashanti people, Africa. Nah.
But did Harriet Tubman herself say that she was Ashanti?
I'm trying to find this shit. I'm trying to find it. All I'm getting is news articles in National Historic Parks, like what book was it in? What memoirs was it in? Like,
man, I'm gonna tell you what don't make sense to me. By the 1830s, when they were freeing everybody with the 14th Amendment and everything, they had said what it was about a total of 200,000 that they had on the census, that supposedly came over from Africa, right? Now, this was a total number that they had on the census at that time, right? So if this is the total number, not some, they made babies and they populated and all that, this is the number that they had. So if they got 200 to 300,000, and then they freed, 4.5 million, something like that, where'd the rest of them come from?
I'm looking at her shit right now.
So what I was saying was the transatlantic slave trade happened all over the world, right? This is what got these European nations rich, like
no,
France.
that's untrue. That's an untrue statement.
Hold on.
Transatlantic trade did not happen all over the world. That is wrong. Like how you gonna put transatlantic and then say world? No, like you just canceling out. I'm just telling you, you wrong. Start over. Retort. You misspoke.
Brother, be a man, brother.
No, you be a man and correct yourself.
Let me speak my piece, and then you can speak, brother. Be respectful, right? I know that's not how natives get down, being disrespectful and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know your forefathers taught.
I'm not a native, and I'm there.
Whatever you are, I hope your forefathers taught you some manners.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
manners.
I'm not a native. I will pull the motherfucking tomahawk out whenever I get it. You know what I'm saying? So you need the tomahawk right now. Because you called me a native, and I'm not a native, nigga.
I'm not no native.
You called me a native, and I'm not one. So you need to chill with that.
Okay, well, brother, you're the one disrespecting, brother. Like I
you
say 2 words and you're jumping in, bro.
Wrong.
Like, we're not dating, bro. Like no diddy, brother. Calm down.
You said the transatlantic slave trade.
Calm down, brother. Let me finish. You gotta let a man finish when he's speaking before you comment. You know what I mean?
Right. I'll let you step in shit. Go ahead.
All right. Say whatever you want to say, man. You're acting very, very weird. Now, what I'm saying is this. The transatlantic slave trade, when it was decreed by the Pope that it was going to start, you had different nations. You had Africans being taken into France. They wasn't coming over here to America and taking natives everywhere around the world.
Shit.
Right?
Shit.
No, real talk, they wasn't.
They were.
So Pete,
that was actually saying.
So
what
I'm saying is this.
You talking about 1452?
So what I'm saying is this: is that the transatlantic slave trade happened, and black people were being sent all over the world. It's not a coincidence that the Jamaicans, people, our brethren in the Caribbean, the Haitians.
Hold it, excuse me. Are you from the
One second.
Caribbean? Are you from the
no shit, go
Caribbean?
ahead.
Are you from the
You said what?
Caribbean? Are you, kind
No,
sir,
I'm not
from the Caribbean? So
No,
what
I'm not from the Caribbean.
Well, I am from the Caribbean. Please.
Where you from?
I'm from Borinquen.
What's that?
Please, let's not talk about my peoples in my island. If you want to
You
talk
said
about
Puerto Rico?
I said
Puerto Rico?
Borinquen. I said Borinquen.
What's that? What is that?
The land of the valley noble lords.
No, I don't know what the hell that is, man. Like
Exactly.
be real.
Exactly.
What
So
is
what
that?
I'm saying
What-
to-
what's
what I'm
that
saying
place? What's it called today?
What I'm saying to you is that, my brother, please, like the gentleman
What's it
said
called
down at
today?
the bottom, like the man that
No,
said,
what-
the
You
gentleman,
don't speak for you don't speak.
like
You
the
don't speak
gentleman
for,
said
for
at the
all
bottom,
Caribbeans.
you're
Who are
stepping
you?
in shit. You're stepping in
Who
shit.
are
I'm
you?
nobody.
Man,
Nobody.
you sound
I'm
like
nobody.
shit, man. You sound like some type of
Yeah,
FBI
yeah,
agent pro or some shit.
Yeah, you know what? You have
You
full
don't speak
assumption.
for Jamaica. You don't speak
Right,
for
Well,
right.
Jamaica.
hold on. Can we have some decorum?
You know what Jamaicans are? You know what
Let's have some
Jamaicans
decorum.
I will clear the
You know what
motherfucking
Jamaicans
stage,
are, my
yeah.
brother?
Decorum, dude. Like, yeah, let's get some. Y'all wildin'. His people be respectful. I was about to say he's about to speak for Caribbean. He's not Caribbean himself. That's why. Like, yeah, request up. Like, y'all got to speak on what you know, respectfully.
My humblest apologies, man.
Speak on what you know.
My humblest apologies, my brother. Sincerely.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, when it's more than one person getting around it, I'll clear the stage.
No, you're right. You're right.
I'll clear the stage.
No,
If people are interrupting continually, you boot them from the chat, you know what I'm saying, so that we can have an adult conversation.
If I feel someone needs to be removed, then I'll remove them.
Yeah, because if one person says two words and then you know what I'm saying, it's just constant interruption, we're not getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to have a fruitful conversation like grown people. You know what I mean?
I'll let folks go.
Respect.
All right. All right, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
So what I'm saying is the black people in Jamaica, and I can't speak for everybody from the islands because we know that there is different people that were on those islands when the ships were arriving there. There were different native people that were living there. You know what I'm saying? Like in Puerto Rico, Taino Indians and these things like that, right? So I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is people were being brought into different places. They were brought into France. They were brought into to Poland. They were, for instance, my forefather, he was taken from Kenya among the Agakuyu or the Kikuyu. He was taken and he served the royal family in Poland, and he ended up being the first Black Polish general, and he actually was sent over to quell the Haitian rebellion. He was an enemy of Napoleon. Went to school with Napoleon because his mother was a European princess, Princess Francesca, and so he went to school with Napoleon. He was sent to quell the rebellion in Haiti, which was an insult to him. And he turned on the French and helped the Haitians free themselves. And then he came over here to America, changed his name, and so on and so forth. But his African identity remained with him the whole time because of who his father was, right? So what I'm saying is that it's an undeniable fact that Africans were taken all over the world, and the Europeans benefited greatly off of their labor, off of their inventions, their technologies, and off of the mineral resources that come from their land. till this very day, they don't want to leave the land.
All right.
Which is
So
why
how
you,
so
go
how
ahead,
many
brother.
came to the United States?
So that number is an uncountable number because so many died in the ocean. So for instance, like in Congo, like what happened in Belgium Congo when King Leopold was in the Congo, over 12 million died there. So it's a very
20,000
large
likes, huh?
number, but just very few survived.
Yeah, why the likes? Hold on. Why we at 13? Like, get up to 20. Let's get up to 20,000 likes. Tap the screen. Yeah. Yeah. That's like, okay, cool. So, how many, like, this is why we guys talk about things we can prove, right? Yeah, us making things up where we can find our records and our families and stuff like that. I told you Africans were documented, yeah. With that, you can go on so many places, court records, genealogical societies, and things like that. Like this stuff, like, okay, cool. Folks could have passed while like being on a boat, right? I've seen slave ships and slave manifests, right? Or people being brought over to this country. I've seen no more than 500 people on a boat at a time. Like, this stuff is researchable. And when I ask folks, if I start asking folks like, hey, how far do you go back in your family tree? And if it's nothing past the 1800s, I don't want to hear it. You don't even know where you're from.
Hey, can I say something? Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
He just gave us a point, right? Because he just told us that his ancestor came here to the United States on his own volition, changed his name, got in, right? It don't matter
His
what
father was a slave. His father was a slave to the royal family.
After you gave this soliloquy of talk, letting somebody talk, soliloquy.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother, but that was my history that you were talking about. I'm sorry. I'll mute my mic.
The point is, the man got to America on his own volition, and you was talking all that global. You said he said the transatlantic slave trade was a global thing, right? Come on, like you got to do better than that, and you should produce a source. So first of all, you're talking about you're wrong in saying that it's global. Say slavery was global. Say that. Maybe I might not have contention with that, but it's definitely contention on a global transatlantic slave trade. Okay, they not even in the transatlantic. He getting traded across Africa and the Mediterranean, and you throwing that in there. That number that ain't included, so you can't do that. That's disingenuous, and that's mixing the dope.
I will give you a real ship with that, where it's a real picture and it ain't got nothing to do with no cartoon images of what they did with this. I want you to look up the HMS Daphne. It should be from 1868, and look at that picture and read what was going on with that slaving. Where did those people go? Where were they going to? Where were they coming from? And that'll give you an idea of the fear that's being told.
Where the native Indians from America come from?
America. Like, where else would they be? Where else would they be?
Now provide the same thing that you're asking me to provide, brother.
America.
Hold on 1 second. Not some just regular book with some unknown
excuse me.
you don't know.
I got a place you can look at. Look at the U.S. Army Medical Museum of Indigenous People of the Caribbean Islands and the Americas.
The show. Oh yeah, Pocahontas. Like, we got books of this shit. Like, we got historical markers. It's easy. Pocahontas Island. Says
There's no historical markers of Africans coming here. That's just saying.
Oh my god. Oh my dude. Can you shut the hell up?
No, you shut the hell up.
Like, you saying shit that ain't nobody bring up. Like, the hell? Why you inserting shit nobody's even talking about? So there's like, nigga, I would have said if it wasn't. If there wasn't. The town of Pocahontas, established in 1752, but just get down to the strong point. It says that the Powhatan in these areas, an occupation of the area as early as 6500 BC. Like, BC times, Indians been in Virginia. And they say nothing about no barren straight bullshit, nothing.
It's like the canoes. They found canoes in Rome, Italy, in the Mediterranean Sea, and they found a canoe in Nigeria dating back to BCE period, and you can find the canoes. It comes from my people. But you can't find no slave ships.
Because what was happening was the slavers that they was actually talking about was the Arabs, and that was still happening in 1868, which I was trying to tell them, like, yo, they was taking them people from down there and in the South, taking them all the way up to. They wasn't taking them to America. The Arabs the Arabs never came over to America. They never came here.
What I'm trying to convey to you, my brother, is that the fact in which they utilize the Caribbean island as the drop point to send them back north to North America, and then take those from North America back to the Caribbean islands and then bring them to South America and Central America was their concept. In order to them to deceive us and tell us we come from Africa. We don't come from Africa. If you look up the word mayate, mayate means in the West Coast to be those of melanated complexion. But if you look up the real name and you Google it, you'll find out is the indigenous meaning of the people of the Yucatan Peninsula and Guatemala, Central and South America, and all the way up to the Americas, which is the United States of America.
You know, I'm gonna tell y'all, and this is an opinion that I haven't been able to prove. So I'm gonna let it be known that this is an opinion. What I think happened with the Africans is when they call them slaves, right? But they were really indentured. Now, the people that they was using for chattel was the people that was already here, and those were prisoners of war. Those people, those people were immigrating over here.
How y'all doing, panel?
The POW this of today.
I don't know if this is a free for all or what, but I was just speaking to everybody because I had just came up.
Peace, OCO.
Peace, peace, peace.
Yeah, the other fellow, he said a lot of you know what I'm saying? He was mixing a lot of dope and he had a lot of matches on the other way, and I was trying to figure out how much was off, but that's a lot of generalization.
You know, the craziest thing
a lot
is
of compartmentalization.
I found that the Civil Rights Act was was signed by Lyndon B. Johnson. There's a seal that is approved that recognizes that that's a law, right, to the United States. That indicates it's supposed to be for African Americans, blacks, or Negroes, correct? But if you look at it, which I got it, the nickname says Indian. Doesn't say African American. Why is that? And Martin Luther King.
The first thing I like to explain to people who don't understand what's going on, when they tried to kick us out the country because they was taking over, you know, it was an invasion of 6 continents that came with 6 countries that came into America to try to take over this land. Where was the first place they tried to send us? They had no idea what to send us to. They picked the first place that looked like we belong. So where was the first place they tried to send us to? They never tried to send us to Africa in the first place.
But they attempted to with Walter Plecker, Cox, and Marcus Garvey. They all worked together.
They attempted to, right, but that wasn't where we belonged at. But they attempted to. Right. That they had no idea where to send us to. They had no idea where do we send these people. Because they knew that we didn't belong to Africa.
And it doesn't make no sense, brother, because the thing is that if we got 90% of what we cultivate in the Americas, and you're gonna bring people that only could have, like for instance, the rest of the world only had 10% to share. So now, how is it that you're gonna bring people from Africa to cultivate the lands that they don't even know how to fucking cultivate?
Wait, say that again, brother. Say it one more time. I didn't hear what you said.
Let me say again. If you got 90% in the Americas of the food resources in which we cultivate, right? And the other 10% is being shared by the rest of the planet, correct? How is it that we're gonna get people from another part of the globe to go do what they can't do because we're the ones that can do it because we've been cultivating it. They never touched it before. Like tobacco.
Oh, you basically
like,
saying the same thing I'm saying though, brother. Me and you saying the same thing.
right,
It's
we're
like
talking the same language.
if they
Right. No,
never
I
knew where
concur
to
with
send
you.
us to, if they never knew how to get rid of us, how do we come from Africa? This is a new step.
This is what I'm
in
agreeing.
American
I
history.
wholeheartedly agree with you. I'm in an alliance with you. I'm siding with you wholeheartedly. Because if you want to bring
I get
people
what
from
you're saying.
Africa and they don't know how to cultivate, why the hell are you bringing them?
See, people never got that part because they learned it in school. They said it in school. They actually told you this in school through our books, but we didn't pay attention. They never knew what to send. The Negroes, when they tried to kick the Negroes out of America, they didn't know where to send the Negroes in America. And then they had a thought, oh, they the same complexion of the people in Africa. Let's send them there. And that didn't even work.
Then
So I just
to
want to
navigate
understand how
this
this out of Africa story just come about into what everybody believes it, but you don't believe anything else that the white tea person tells you, but you believe this story.
You know what?
There's
You hit the
navigators.
nail right on the head. Because that's what I've been keep asking people like, yo, y'all want to say, oh, they lie about this, they lie about that, and then y'all believe this? This the story you want to
there's
believe?
navigators. There's navigators, right? That actually can tell you, sea merchants at this moment, present day, will tell you the conditions for them to bring cargo is a motherfucker. So can you imagine bringing people, slaves, through slave ships under the bows of the slaves? On the bows of the ships, you could go talk to a medical doctor and they'll tell you that is impossible. That doesn't work.
And people don't read into 1492. What was 1492 about? Why did so many countries come into America? Because we wasn't going. How did we become POWs? We became POWs because 1492 we wasn't going. There was a long fought-out war.
That was the beginning of the invasion.
That was the beginning.
Of the invasion of my people when they landed in the islands. And when they did, they had a problem. That problem was in regards to us noticing that they sent the Moor with them, and we thought that they were one of us. When we thought they were one of us, they were trying to convey to us that the pale faces were gods. So then one of our caciques told some of our warriors to convince this guy to go across the river. When they put him across the river, then they put him inside the water to see if he could breathe on the water. Well, they took him out of the water and waited 3 days. The 3 days he didn't rise. So that's how the war began, because we already knew that was an invasion. Christopher Columbus, they said that he went to India and he was lost. That was a lie, because the Indies is
wait,
India.
hold on, brother. I hear you, but let's not even bring Christopher Columbus into it, because we're gonna go out 1492. 1492 is the beginning of the invasion, right?
That was Christopher Columbus. That was Christopher Columbus, my brother. 1492.
This was the whole war against America.
My brother,
they stuck one person. What I'm saying is, brother, when we use the name Christopher Columbus, we miss the whole war and everything that was going on.
No, I get you. I get you. My bad. I got you. I got you saying. That was the intention. That was a war. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right.
It was a full-scale invasion, bro.
It was a full-scale
invasion. They came in from the ice bridge and all of that. Before all of that happened. Yes, you're right. Go ahead.
I have an interjection, gentlemen.
What's up?
Part and part itself. For Columbus so-called coming here, there's two things that I wanted to add to that. One, that wasn't his name.
Nope.
And two,
True.
It was an edict. It was a war, but it was an edict from Queen Elizabeth and King Ferdinand of Spain.
Yep. Spain, correct.
That's what led them to come in.
True.
Right.
That's where you get the bait from.
Right. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta get the whole history now.
That's where you get the bait from. I mean, I know the history. I know the history.
Hold on, brothers. Brothers.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I've been listening to y'all for about 20 minutes. Y'all all saying the same thing, but give the detail, because I'm a school teacher. Everybody that's listening, y'all have different perspectives. Start to glue it together. Give the detail. Y'all right on point. I just want to add that to it. I'm gonna mute out until I can add some more. But y'all right on it. Yeah, right on it. But let the people know Christopher Columbus was not, and he wasn't an Italian, a pale skin. He was a Moor. If you're gonna give him if you personify him,
wasn't he
right?
a
But
peasant?
again, that wasn't his
right?
name.
Y'all gotta let folks land, yo. God
Yeah.
damn.
It was yes, it was an edict. There's an edict, and the whole thing, that whole doctrine of discovery, that's where that came from, through 1492.
That's why I said we need more women up here, dude. It's like when it's too many men, it gets all over. Niggas, I don't know, bro. That's not how I'm about to reset the panel again. Oh yeah, it's too many dudes up here. What's up? Greetings, everyone. But yeah, if you want to come up here, sister, you can. Yeah, is this your other account? Let me follow you back on here. Yeah, I need some. Yeah, let me bring up real your highness up. Yeah, I'm trying to bring her back up. Like,
Yes, brother. This is my main account, but the other account is my my music account that I'm building up.
Okay, so yeah, you can go ahead.
No, I don't have no diatribe to share, but that's the story. They gave. I was just having a conversation. I know we were on Columbus and the Moors and the invasion and everything, but I just want to just remind everybody that's listening. You have to remember the Reconstruction that happened was the literal erasure of our history. Literally, these characters that's in these books will have darker skin, copper colored skin, black or more skin, or swarthy skin. All right, names was changed. It's you got a lot of Moors and masonry, and it's a lot going on. So we all have bits and pieces of the story. We all don't know it all, but we may be well versed on a particular area of the history. This is why it's great to have these panels and these discussions, because we all have different perspectives to the same story. So it's not an argument. You have to really start learning to use critical thinking and listening skills, because we all, like I said earlier, we're saying the same thing. Y'all saying the same thing. I see why the brother wiped out the screen, because what's going to happen is, as y'all getting agitated with one another, is lowering our vibration. One, we not getting our learning in. Two, they're gonna shut us down. That's what they want. Don't give them what they want. That's all.
I know. I was about to say. That's why. What's up? We got Tally up here.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on?
Peace and love, sis.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, so I am Afro-Indigenous. I'm both Native American and I have African ancestry. I've definitely been in this conversation quite a bit on if the Black Americans are indigenous to America. I absolutely I mean, I'm gonna be for real, we have Black American tribes in the United States. I mean, like you guys had mentioned, we have the Moors. We have the I'm Plains Indian, so I don't really have much education for more of the Eastern tribes, but I do know that they're up there, and like I was kind of lurking in the last stream, so yeah, no, just want to come up, but everyone disappears. So
you said you're from the Plains?
Mm-hmm.
What tribe?
Lakota Sioux tribe.
Lakota. Shout out to you. Yeah, I mean, yeah. They on the eastern, like on the east, like for most of us, for the most part. Some of us are west of the Mississippi, but a lot of us, when we speak, we're talking about, because I'm east of the Mississippi, and then things like that. My tribe are Algonquin, mostly Algonquin are the Powhatan Confederation. We got the Piscataway, their confederation. Sometimes they were mixed in with the Powhatan and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay.
And then, yeah, like the Muskogee. Like I got some Muskogee through like Santee and Santee and.
That's how you got the Muskogee, brother, because the way your face is shaped, baby. Look at you. You right. But you much more handsome now. You much more handsome. You got that Muskogee shape, though. You do. He does. He does. Nah, cause he could definitely play Abraham Lincoln if we was doing the real bioepic.
Oh
Word.
my goodness.
Somebody else said that.
Word. For real. But you way more handsome. Abraham Lincoln was
I can see him with a little top hat on. Don't play.
No, but now look, Dante, listen. Are Black Americans indigenous to America? I'm looking at what perspective do you really want us to approach this? Because this is a three-way fold.
It's a broad topic. I mean, I understand. Yeah, the title it is because it's for
it's loaded.
Yeah, it's loaded. So it keeps the discussion loaded. We can touch on many different things, but
Yeah.
that's why I title it a certain way, the same way I title my videos. You know.
Yes, I enjoy your videos too, and I do think you should come up with an album or NFT and do it quick before we don't have to
the album. Oh yeah, the album's on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube.
Oh, okay, good. I'm gonna follow you. What's the title of the album?
For the Trolls.
For the Trolls.
Yeah, I made an AI album.
No, that's
crazy. I was on here the other day. I know you made an AI album, but is that the title? For the Trolls?
For the Trolls.
Wow, bro.
For a number 4 THA Trolls. TROLLZ. Yeah.
Okay.
Radio relax. So be quiet. We got Venus in the building. Yeah, that's the energy I needed.
Yeah. Let's see now. Are Black Americans?
I'm not gonna lie. It gets a little too rah-rah when it's a bunch of men on stage.
Because we get emotional. Everybody gets emotional, and we have to remember we can't keep bringing emotion. So this is how we keep getting in trouble in the first place. You gotta start thinking logically, and it's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Don't fall for the trap. But are Black Americans indigenous to America? I'm looking at the word black and I'm looking at the word indigenous.
You can spin it however you want to spin it. Any wording, any phrasing.
See, we was looking at the word indigenous on another live on I forgot Truth Museum, and we looked up in the dictionary indigenous. We did the whole breakdown. It took us like 20 minutes to do it, and it took both of us to do it, and we figured it out. Indigenous means ancient. So are Black Americans ancient to America? Now, if you calling yourself Black in a political sense, no, because the term Black didn't come into play until 1980.
Right.
We've been here way before 1980.
So, yep, that's why, what we consider Black or melanin.
Right. But if you say, I don't even like copper-colored race because that's still color of law. So if you're talking about the original people of the land, if they are ancient to Americas, absolutely. And that's what the brothers were saying. When we commit a crime, right? Where do they send us? Do they send us to Africa? Absolutely not. Are they sending us to Europe? When we commit a crime? When so-called Black Americans commit a crime, we right in the backyard, all right, on behind bars. Period. Done. Prisoners of war.
Damn.
That's it. That's the story. We home already.
Boom.
So like if you were to like so yeah, as we are home already, I would have to ask the question of like when, because I know that the argument has always been about the land bridge. That's always been a huge part of the argument. Is like, so of course when you mention if Black Americans are indigenous to the Americas, then it always brings up like the same thing for like Native Americans of where did they come from? So like, do you get what I'm talking about? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, but look now, are we talking about the people? Are we talking about the term Native American? Because if you're calling yourself Native American, then you are calling yourself a political party. It was one of the third political parties in the beginning of this system. this
So I can tell you how
system.
they were created. That group of I can tell you how that group of people were created. The Native American label.
Go
That
ahead.
that would be the first reclassification when they took us, the indigenous people of the Americas, and the children and the grandchildren of Africans, and they put them under a label called mulatto. So
Yeah.
that's what it meant to be mulatto. The next reclassification of mulatto would include an African and a European. So now, instead of having indigenous, they just took indigenous people and combined them with the African. So now Europeans mixing with that particular group are now that now they're classified as mulatto. But then they reclassify the African portion to Negro. And so when they split up the mulatto with that group of people, they formed Negro and Native. So that's how you got the Native. So anybody dark presenting or dark color went to Negro, and anybody with the lighter skin and lighter hair went to the label Native American.
But how did they base that? Was that phenotypically that they based that finding on, like the bone structure?
No,
or
they
was
were
that
just
just
going
by
by
blood
skin
mixing?
color.
Period.
They were just going by skin color.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's the 1924 Walter Plecker Act. Yeah, they were just
skin
basically.
color.
Yeah, if you just say they were basically just placing people by their skin color. Yes.
That's
And
deep.
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the same reason why we had a lot of Black Americans entered into tribes as well if they were lighter?
Talking about the brown paper bag test.
I I don't know
I'm
if
not sure if
that's
those
like
two
what she's
terms correlate.
referencing, but I have definitely your whatever, and if you're lighter then you're whatever. So
And that also correlates with the doll test. Remember the doll test that they did on the children at the time, and they would ask them who was a good, who was good and who was bad, and they would present a darker doll and a lighter a pale skin doll, and for some reason, all the children would say that the lighter doll was good and the darker doll was bad. That was just they were just showing and proving their psychological games and warfare what has been working. That's what that was showing.
Absolutely. They were testing to see where their mental was, like they always testing our children, testing to see about everything, really. Mostly everything is done off of us, which is another thing. It's like, if we're not so important, why is everything based off us? Why is medicine based off us? Why is everything that they do when it comes to certain things even with the air, dealing with the air and the water, is based off us, literally.
Well,
It's based off our demise, the dehumanization.
They still do it right now today in elementary school. That same test is being ran upon kids when they're showing them images of these slaves being defeated and beaten, and they only talking about you. Just think about your life, all of us. When have you ever seen our people that look like us in a victorious position, winning, conquering? No, we've always seen our images of ourselves from the school system and a defeated nature, and we always see the other people in a more pristine highlight of being a good person. So they're still doing the programming. They just
Psychological warfare.
advance. Yeah, they just advance it, and they're doing it to children in elementary school. They're getting them programmed to think that the other people are better.
I'm gonna tell you something. Now, I just thought about this. Now, check this out. I've been in education all my life. I started teaching at 5 years old, if y'all could believe it. Right? I had a chalkboard at that age and was reading at 3. So by the time I get around 18, 19, I'm working for a center out in Connecticut because I was out there going to school, going to college. And we went to the Peabody Museum where they had the exhibit of the slave, the reproduction of the slave trade, what may have you. And when I tell you, they had, and my director allowed this, a brother, a father. But now when I think about it, I'm gonna get to my point. It's a generational thing. He was definitely Pan-African. I love him in pieces. He made me the woman I am today, part of the community. But he allowed the students, especially some of our young men, to go into this exhibit and put these fucking shackles on. Excuse my language. I'm thinking 25 years ago, 22 years ago. What I know now, if I knew it then, I wouldn't have let that fly.
No. And that's what I mean by this is it, they're only showing you images of you being beneath a certain group of people.
Right.
So yes.
It's deep.
We're transmitting utility, actuality, which means we transmit everything when it comes to any current period. That's why we're considered to be the transmitting utility. Nothing can move without us, literally.
Nothing. Now check how
Everything
you
that
have
they
us.
do, everything trying to control people is using the money, which is not even money. People are fooled into believing, oh, it's money, it's money. It's not. It's fiat.
No, it's not
Fiat
much. It's like,
currency
it's definitely
is
fiat.
fiat,
Right.
fiat currency is a debt note. It is not money. And this is what people don't understand. Not understanding that it's used against us so that they can have gain in the other way. So you're taking on currency that you think is money, and then we're using it out here in this system, right? And then they're collecting it, and then they're retrieving it, and they're getting like 16 times more. For every dollar, they'll get 16. So if you turn in $1 to a company, like if you purchase a vehicle and you put a down payment of $10,000, that's actually $16,000 that they're getting, because it's a debt note, and this is what they occur off of each dollar. So what we don't understand is we're doing things the wrong way, and this is why they keep building up the debt, because we're putting everything into debt by allowing them to receive these debt notes.
Yeah, if it's only worth something is because we make it worth something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Value on it. But like we going back to it, the value that we put on it is the energy that we put into it, literally.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Physically, spiritually.
And that's why they have to do a lot of these energy harvesting rituals to keep this because
it's an energy you said it, an energy collection.
Yeah, and they use that to expel energy to the cosmos, because it's also numbers that's keeping us spellbound to keep this put into place. And that's why we see all the things that's happening right now, is because that sudden movement of the Black woman refusing to go out there in those streets and march and push that energy that they're used to getting and harvesting. So that's why you see now in Times Square, for instance, a lot of people don't know, along with that 12-foot statue, also every night from May 1st to May 25th, they actually black out the city of New York, of that Manhattan area at 11:57 p.m. every night for 3 minutes, and they relight it, and every single screen, all 95 of them, appear back on with an image of a Black man.
What?
Every night.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've been doing that because when they
start doing that?
That's the awareness. She just said it. Said
May 1st this year.
Yes.
Can you? I'm near New York. Can you capture that? Is that a full way for you to? Are you out there at that time of night?
Yeah, you can. A lot of people. That's how you found out about it.
You just
go to Times Square. Yeah, go to the website. You can actually go to the website and they tell you all about it.
It's the atom that they were showing. to put people in awareness to listen. This is what's really
put it in the chat
real
for me,
quick,
please.
Can I finish my sentences real quick? When it comes to the question he even saying, are Black Americans indigenous to America, right? That image in itself is letting people know who Adam was, that they keep talking about the Black Adam or the color. That's why they're showing that picture of the Black Adam. And people are being stunned to see it because it's a revelation. Remember last year, Putin came out with the pictures
Vault.
as well.
The vault.
So
We opened the vault, baby. Yes, he did.
And the
all
Pope,
this
the Pope
revelation
even before
stuff.
he passed away.
Oh my gosh.
The Pope, even before he passed away, too, he showed him kissing and bowing down to a Black woman statue.
Yeah, but they've been doing that. That's what they do.
But do you notice the shift? Even here in the United States now, the UK ambassador is here, located in New York now. The ambassador is no longer in the United Kingdom; it's now in America. We have the Pope no longer in Europe, now here in America. Like they're moving everything.
Oh, we're going back to 1619. What was it? What was he said? Make America great again. 1619. We going back to that time of the Constitution? We really
No,
doing it?
it's past the paperwork. That's what I was trying to say. It's more of it's more of what they call witchcraft and spells that they're cast into the cosmos, because it's bigger than just paperwork. Like this.
Now with that paperwork, with a lot of people, because when you say it's bigger than paperwork, you gotta go into You gotta go into detail. Tell them why it's bigger than paperwork. Go ahead. If you ain't gonna tell them, I'll tell.
Go ahead. You go.
Spiritual warfare right now.
All
So
right.
that's the battle.
Right.
The battle
now
is
check it.
what is
Let
up.
me- let me
Dad, sis, you said say something, and then when somebody talking, you want to jump right in. I mean,
Yeah,
we
I'm
can't
good.
talk like that now. Let us all speak. Go ahead, though.
No, go ahead. Good. No, I was just agreeing with you. You said it was a spiritual warfare. I'm just excited about it because this is a good way to tie the paperwork into the spiritual realm. And the analogy I'm going to use, I think we're all going to get it. Y'all remember that movie or that show, Charmed, with the three Albion witches?
I do.
All right. Remember every single time they came across a problem or the antagonist would meet them, they'll have a problem that they gotta go and get a spell. They'll always run down to the basement and go to the spell book. It always took the three of them, because if it was one or two, they would never get the spell out the book until that third witch get there. They grab the spell, they come back upstairs, right? Now imagine that you writing your affidavit, you're spelling, you're proclaiming your nationality, you're proclaiming your nationhood, right? But it does not work until you cast it out, until you proclaim it, until you announce it. That's what proclamation means. So that's why it works on the side of the road, because wherever we are as nationals, we hold in court. So now bring it to these witches. Boom. They say the spell at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. They hit the warlock with that spell, and it automatically, spiritually, he dissipates, he disappears. That's what the paperwork does. That's why the sister's saying it's more than the paperwork, because what you're doing is you're bringing that energy down to you. It's ancient, it's ours. You're bringing the ancestors through those words, and you tell them this is what it is. Boom, 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 boom. It can't be defeated. It's maximum law. That's all I want to add, and I'm gonna calm myself down and let you speak, sister. I do apologize.
I just wanted to add something quick to you. Yes, it's the social construct in which the United States was set up. In the numbers of 3, 5. If you go look at the Bible, those same numbers have the same significance. When you the way that the government was set up, the founding fathers, the founding fathers, the states that established Israel, the 3 forms of government, but it's a lot of things that's in those numbers, and they're using those numbers because they're taking away from okay, let me back this up. So we already know that science and math, you cannot create anything without math. Everything is math. And when you look at the foundation of anything created, we have to go back to nature. So those are the principles that they're using in reversal to remove Mayat and replace Osiris. Oh, okay. But since nobody is gonna say anything, even in the Bible, starting in the beginning in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden, I don't know, the original name of Africa prior to America renaming it would have been, I think it's Alkebulan, and Alkebulan. Yes, thank you. And then after did want to hear what you have to say. Alkebulan actually translate to Garden of Eden. So even the Bible is already away from our story in the beginning, but you can also relate those things in the Bible. One thing that I like to relate is George Washington. So George Washington was our first president of the United States of America. So we could consider that the birth of the United States. We go in the Bible and when we talk about Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead, and the correlation that I made there is that Lazarus had two sisters, Martha and Mary. Well, George Washington, he said, "Come forth." To me, that correlates the beginning of the United States of America and Jesus, because the birth of Jesus actually canceled out the great mother and also the 12 tribes, because now you no longer had the promise from Abraham to the promise from God to Abraham, nor did you have the great mother, because remember, Mary was impregnated by the Holy Spirit. But what they didn't tell us, Joseph, who they depicted as just a carpenter, he actually was the direct bloodline to David, not Mary. So the birth of Jesus took the great mother out of her position, and now they no longer had the covenant pact with God, nor the great mother was present, and now everybody began to worship Jesus, which was the birth of patriarchy.
For sure. Hey, I'm about to shut this down, y'all. I'll be back on tomorrow.
Here.